Hey Froggy friends, Kirostyle here, welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. Thank you so much for joining me here on stream. Psycho Reaper, congratulations on being first. Ash, welcome in, congratulations on your 170 stream streak. Thank you so much for all your support and tuning in. Key Energy, welcome in. Kieran, hello, hello. Willful, thanks for stopping by today. And Cole, hello, and congratulations Cole on your 75 stream streak. Hope you guys are all doing well. We are going to continue episode 5, Turnabout Ablaze. And as you can see, the picture on our title screen here has changed again to match the episode. We finished the first third of the case. We found the victims, and we also cleared both of our initial suspects of suspicion for the time being. And we still have no idea who did the crime. So we're about to go do some more investigating and hopefully find out. So we're not going to finish the episode today, but I'm hoping to get to close to the 2/3 point. Maybe just before that, depending on time. Angora, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for dropping in today. Let's just get going. I also found out there's no way to erase other save slots. The only thing you could do is you could delete your entire game save files. Basically, it's all or none, and apparently it's the same way for the Phoenix Wright trilogy as well. I'm not sure if it's the same case for the Apollo Justice Theory trilogy. So we're stuck with this save slot here. Maybe what I'll do is when we finish Turnabout Ablaze, I'll save something in this slot here just to kind of clear it, and then we'll start our Ace Attorney Investigations 2 slots on slot 1. It's really annoying they don't let you delete individual save files. That's kind of backwards. Especially since sometimes when the game asks you to save, you'll get to the save screen and they'll automatically put the cursor on the next slot. So it's like, instead of on your current one. I know some people like to fill up all these slots with like all their save files, but I'm not that type of person, so seeing this one here just kind of bothers me. Okay, let's go. Hey Vanilla, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for stopping by today. March 14th, 9:21 p.m. Open air stage. I've left the Damask 2 investigation to Francisca and returned to Babal. I suppose my first order of business should be to look into Babal's statue. Mr. Edgeworth! So okay, what's the situation? Oh, it's great! Investigating's so much fun! In other words, they made absolutely no progress. We are goofing off, honest sir! We've been investigating our hearts out! Very well then, would you care to give me an update on your investigation? Oh! We've had a really fun time, sir! I knew it. Zero progress. In any case, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir! You have permission to enter the Alabastian Embassy, is that correct? Yep! As a local detective, I'm helping with investigations on both sides, sir! Good. In that case, I can leave these pieces of evidence with you. I'll just give you all the old bag stuff. They belong to the lady under the Pink Princess's mask. The Pink Princess? What kind of lady was playing her, sir? The kind that was also playing the role of the Pink Badger yesterday. Ah! Oh, understood, sir. If I happen to run into her, I'll give them back to her. Edgeworth, why didn't you just give her back her undershirt when you were still back over there? Why'd you carry it all the way over here? And if I don't, then I guess I'll unload them somewhere. He doesn't seem all that enthused to go find her, but I can't blame him. Evidence that has lost their value, given to Detective Gumshoe. Now then, I don't believe I'll be needing this anymore either. What? Are you really gonna throw that autograph away? Yes, because that Steel Samurai was a fake. Steel Samurai's autograph scrunched up into a ball and disposed of. Aw. He was so excited to get that one too. Wait, what? What do you mean by fake? Now then, I believe it's time for a little housekeeping. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. So what do I have left? Embassy guide, notes on Kochin's body, Yadagarasu's key, Alabastian knife, Babel's primitive statue, Kodopian paper document, Babelese knife handle, counterfeit bills, Babelese ink, Damask 2's note, passion flowers, samurai spear, Alabast Primadux statue, and samurai dogs. Yes? How is the investigation going in the Babelese Secretariat's office, Kay? Well, even though we found a few treasures, they've all been pretty much burnt to a crisp. A treasure is a terrible thing to waste. Anyway, is there anything else I should know about? Oh, that's right. You know what I found in the office? A wooden bear carving. It's so cute. Can I have it, Can I have it? No, of course you can't. By the sound of things, it appears there's been no progress in the investigation. Hey, do you detect the scent of treasure coming from this bush? The scent of treasure? No, not at all. Mr. Edgeworth, you're totally not with it. I'm not with it. No, it's important for both thieves and prosecutors to be energetic. Perhaps for a thief like you, but that level of energy is unbecoming of a prosecutor. You really think so? That prosecutor we met at Gatewater Land seemed to be pretty active. Well, he's not a prosecutor anymore. See how everything just naturally balances out? Bags full of cement powder are stacked up here. I suppose they're for the renovation. Yeah, because I don't smell a drop of gold here, or any other treasure for that matter. Okay, the only scent you should detect in a place like this is the smell of sweat. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, that was pretty good play on words there. Gummy! Don't randomly jump into one of our dialogues like that. Were you eavesdropping on us, Detective Gumshoe? No, it's not like that, sir. He just doesn't want to be left out. A ladder. Actually, that's a step ladder. They're the exact same thing. No way! From the structure up, they're totally different. But of course, from a thief's perspective, the best kind of ladder is the rope ladder. A step ladder is much too heavy to carry on, after all. And from a prosecutor's perspective, any type of ladder is guilty of being dangerous during an earthquake. Of course, every Ace Attorney game needs one step ladder argument, right? It would appear that the stage is also scheduled to be renovated. You know, I would love to perform on a stage like this. Something like the Greatest Great Thief Show. I should think it would be a bad idea for a thief to show their face to the world. Hey, you're not going back to Alabast already, are you? No, not yet. I still need to gather a bit more information first. Well, I'm just trying to get around Gumshoe. Just looking at these scaffolds makes you want to climb them. I recommend you do not try. There was a fire burning here until not too long ago. Yeah, but I think enough time has passed, so it should be alright. The thief child says, if there's a height to be scaled, then scale it you must. Starting from thief child, would you care to explain what you just said? They're having a real time of it cleaning up after the fire. I suppose we should stay out of here and investigate the stage some more then. This bush looks like the perfect place to hide some sort of treasure, you know? But there's no treasure inside those things. Oh, too bad. We do have a lot of treasures back in Babel. Sounds great. I'll be sure to pay you guys a visit sometime for a 5-finger discount. Sure, we welcome you anytime. Are you sure you really want to invite a thief into your country with open arms? There's a sign here warning passersby to take precautions around this renovation site. They're really going all out, huh? There's construction going on everywhere. I believe Ambassador Paleno said it was to attract more tourists and visitors. What can they do with the new stuff they're building? Hey, what do you think they should do, Mr. Edgeworth? How about transforming it into a courthouse? Hey, be serious. But I was being serious. Oops, no, I didn't. I thought maybe he could talk about the pylon. Oh, there we go. So how come so many traffic cones are red and white? That's because they're highly visible from a great distance. Oh, is that why? So then, the reason you wear that wine red suit is for visibility's sake. Please don't compare me to a ragged plastic traffic cone. Okay, I'm glad I got that dialogue. No, I'm not trying to go back. You take like one step in that direction, suddenly she like stops you. Mr. Edgeworth! You look like you're enjoying yourself, detective. Well, I don't have much else that I enjoy as much as a good investigation, sir. So, what did you find out? Ah, well... I take it he has found nothing of any particular use. As usual. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth! I got something really interesting from Ambassador Paleno. Oh, and what is this something interesting? This, sir! Wow, that's so pretty! I'm so jealous. That's a real treasure there. Why does the flame burn green, detective? So apparently, if you burn the special white crystal oil that they make only in Babel, it burns this green color, sir. Interesting. So it's a special property of the oil. I suppose it's a ploy to force people to visit Babel, should the oil run out. Hey, Gummy! What about these silhouettes? They stuck some cutouts on the outside of the lantern, so it project the images. Oh. Silhouettes, huh? They are rather pretty, aren't they? Wait, what am I doing? I was supposed to be asking for an update on the investigation. Hey, what's wrong, sir? There's something I want you to investigate for me. Do you think you could do that much? Uh-huh. You got it, sir. Hey, that's not fair. Why is Gummy getting to do all the fun stuff? Oh, well, that's because I'm Mr. Edgeworth's partner. And I can't believe you took advantage of the confusion and stole my role as assistant. I expect the two of you to get along and work together like professionals on this. Ah, so you're back now, are you, Mr. Edgeworth? You must be tired. Here, with these, you can eat whatever you like. And these are? Discount tickets for our cafeteria! They open tomorrow at 10 in the morning. I appreciate the concern, however, these coupons do nothing for me right now. This open-air stage, what function does it serve exactly? Well, normally we use it for a variety of events. It's all to attract that extra bit of attention to Babal. I heard that tonight, over in the Alabastian Rose Garden, Ambassador Alba was to give a speech. And you know what? Manny told me I really should give a speech too. Mr. Kochin told you that? Yes, he did. Which is why I thought I should give a speech of my own. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to. Because of the fire the Atagarasu started. Exactly. Hey Tsuki, welcome to the stream today. Thanks for dropping by. Ambassador Paleno, I'd like to ask you a little bit more about the Primadux statues. Oh, I see. Well, let me ask you this. Do you know that Alabaster and Babel used to be one country called Kodopia? Yes, I know that much about your history. Well, the Primadux statue belonged to the founders of Kodopia. At least that's how the story goes. It was bequeathed unto the king of Kodopia as a symbol of the country's wealth. So it was meant as a symbol of sovereignty, and the right to rule, I take it. Yes, that's right, which is why both countries are so adamant about their claim. We hold the real statue, therefore we hold the right to rule, is the reasoning? It's pretty petty, what do you think about it though? I suppose. But if Alabas and Babel were to re-establish relations, shouldn't that put an end to the squabbling over the statue? I have no reason to believe so. The Primadux statue is even more important now as a key to diplomacy. I wonder if Ambassador Paleno knows. about what has happened to the very important key to diplomacy. Perhaps I should try showing him this key and see what he has to say about it. Ambassador Paleno, there's just one thing I'd like to ask you about. Oh, yes, don't worry. You can ask me more than just one thing. How about 2 or 3? In exchange, I expect you'll be coming to Babel, yes? Thank you, but just the one thing is all I require. Manny Kochin, I'd like you to ask about this man who is your secretary. Sure, I'll tell you what I know. Thank you for your cooperation, Ambassador. He was, well, if I had to put in one word, he was an able man. If there was anything I ever needed as an ambassador, he was able to get it for me. To think that a man like that had a hand in a smuggling ring right under my nose, going completely unnoticed. Actually, I suppose because he was an able man, I was unable to detect his dirty dealings. I like the contrast between this portrait of Paleno and the one where he's smiling and bent over. It's such a different contrast between the two of them. Kind of like the, again, like I say, the Clark Kent Superman situation. It sounds like Mr. Kochin had a very sharp mind. Recently, Manny has been very busy. Since I became the Babelese representative at the Country Unification Council, he's been working tirelessly to cover my work for me. I'm sorry, but what is this Country Unification Council? Oh, well, you see, had tonight's events proceeded without a hitch, our 2 countries were to reunify and become one again. But I guess, with how things turned out, that dream won't be realized anytime soon. I suppose not. Ambassador Paleno, if you could please take a look at this for me. The permanent statue sitting in Alabast right now actually belongs to Babel. So it would appear I received a call from Miss Von Karma about this earlier. Then you understand why I wish to inspect Babel's permanent statue immediately. Because the statue currently in your country's possession. Yes, well, I've already inspected it myself. And it is definitely Alabast's statue. I know because it's the real statue. Then you're saying that Babel's was a replica. I'm embarrassed to say it's true, even though I knew that someday it would be exposed. I received my orders from the leaders of Babel, and I was to negotiate with Ambassador Alba at this event. I was to negotiate with him and fix the results of the evaluation tonight. To say that we could not determine which statue was the real one.
Hold it!
Why are you telling me this? Well, because you already figured it out! Our statue's just a hollow gold shell. Even if Babel were to lose face, the reunification of the country is what's important. I'm right in thinking that, aren't I? I'm not making a mistake, right? If you don't know yourself, then I won't pretend to know either. I never thought that by being betrayed by my own secretary, the real symbol of wealth would be given to me. Isn't it simply ironic? Hey, where are you going? Are you heading back to Alabast? Yes, but before I do, I suppose I should give you a summary of what's happened. Oh, I see. So there's been a murder in both countries using an object from the other country. That's the gist of it. Babel is just as strict as Alabast in their inspection of the people and the things that enter their country. Meaning that somehow both murder weapons were smuggled into 2 countries. That's the only logical conclusion that can be drawn. Perhaps the key to the weapon smuggling is the person who traversed both countries. You mean the fake Yatagarasu? In one way or another, the Yatagarasu is connected. Of this I am sure. Now then, where was the Yatagarasu first spotted? I believe it was the Rose Garden on the Alabastian side of the embassy. The garden is just on the other side of this boundary. It's where Ambassador Alba was to give a speech tonight. At least that's where I heard the Yatagarasu had appeared. In that case, I believe it's vital I investigate the Rose Garden post-haste. Wait, before you go, take a look at this, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? My guess is a guitar pick. I picked it up just now, over there. Do you think it'll be of any use? There's a little water on it, but how did the water get on it? It doesn't look like there's anything it could get wet from around here. I was thinking they have concerts here at this open-air stage from time to time, right? Alright, I'll find its owner later. Oh yeah, there's one more thing. Mr. Edgeworth, would you be willing to hold on to this? What is this? It's misused perfume. It's the bottle that woman left behind, and that I found 7 years ago. I thought that one day it'd be of some use to tracking her down. So I kept it safe all this time. Thank you. I'd be honored to hold on to it for you. But didn't Franziska have it? I guess I'm done talking here. It's a national flag of Babel, and it features the country's butterfly crest. Using a butterfly as a national symbol makes Babel just seem so cute. It goes along perfectly with Ambassador Paleno's smiling face. What about the flower of Alabast? Well, by the looks of Ambassador Alba, it almost seems like the poor flower needs to be watered. I suppose an ambassador is the face of a country, but Kay is being too literal about it. Welcome back, Mr. Edgeworth. Please accept these, courtesy of Ambassador Paleno. That's alright. I appreciate the sentiment, however I must decline. Oh, come on! You might as well take them, since he was nice enough to offer. Thank you. I hope you'll visit our embassy's cafeteria to redeem them. It appears that Ambassador Paleno isn't the only one adamantly handing these out. The Babelese embassy is just outside this window. It appears the renovations are going well. Hey, I see Ambassador Paleno out there! He's carrying wood planks for the renovation himself. Very commendable. 1, 2, 3, 4? He's carrying 4 of them, wow! You may not look it, but I guess Ambassador Paleno has got some real muscles. Perhaps a bit of physical strength is required to be the ambassador of a country. These flowers were sent by the Global Studios. Global Studios? That's where they filmed the Steel Samurai television show. They've been producing hit after hit recently, so the studio's being remodeled. Oh, I read about that in the papers the other day. Wait, this dialogue's the same, but the other ones were different. The mascot of theirs is also getting a facelift too, huh? What's its name? You mean Mrs. Monkey? Yeah, I thought it was something like that. You really ought to have a great memory. Huh, never underestimate my powers of recollection. There's a flat panel, a VCR, and a row of Steel Samurai videos on this table. Aren't they worried that if they leave the tapes out on the table like that, the Yatagarasu will make off with them? I honestly doubt the Yatagarasu would want to steal Steel Samurai videotapes. Ah, but that's where you're wrong. The fake Yatagarasu may not want to steal them. But you never know with the real Yatagarasu. Please stop eyeing the tapes with that look of want in your eyes, Kate. See, that dialogue was different. We saw the show just beyond these doors, but it's been quite a number of hours now. Mr. Edgeworth, have I ever told you talk like an old fogey? I was merely reminiscing. Is that such a crime? Nothing to say about the pamphlets? Those are some nice flowers. I wonder who they're from. Gatewater Imperial Hotel. Where's this, Mr. Edgeworth? It's an ultra-luxurious hotel that sponsors the Steel Samurai series. I've been there once to investigate a case. Oh, what kind of case was it? Okay, this dialogue's the same. I believe it was related to the Nickel Samurai and the Jammin Ninja. Oh, I remember reading about that. You must be the head of Steel Samurai Affairs down at the Prosecutor's office, huh? I should think that even you can figure out such an office does not exist, Kay. I can see the courtyard and the Alabastian embassy through this window. It's a really stately and pretty embassy, isn't it? Especially that chimney. Just looking at it makes me want to use it to sneak my way in. Kinda like how Santa does it. Hey, are you alright? What's wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm beginning to think that you may have what it takes to become a royal troublemaker. I think I'll be returning to the investigation at Alabast now, but I know. I'll go back to Babel and do some more investigating there. Wait, no, I want to talk about the flag and talk to the guard. Fine. Hey, Leon, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by today. And hey, Fate, good to see you. Hello, welcome in. March 14th, 9:58 p.m., Rose Garden. I see you're back, Miles Edgeworth. How are things in Babel? Although I can't really say I expect much from Scruffy and that girl. The investigation into Manny Kochin's death hasn't really progressed any. However, the investigation into the Yatagarasu has. Ah yes, the Yatagarasu. Even now I find it hard to believe. A person who can freely traverse between the two countries at will? Preposterous. Well, that's what I came here to investigate. I heard that this is where the witnesses claim to have seen the Yatagarasu. That's correct. Ambassador Alba was to give a speech tonight here in Alabast. And that's when the Yatagarasu appeared. The shadow of the mysterious thief appeared, and just as suddenly it vanished. And after that, there was a fire at the Babelese embassy that the Yatagarasu started. I vow that not a single feather from the Yatagarasu shall escape my diligence. Yes. Tonight, in this very rose garden, the Alabastian ambassador, Kirkus Alba, was to give a commemorative speech. A very key commemorative speech at that. And including Agent Lang, the security detail was very tight. But as if to mock our efforts, the Yatagarasu appears. Then just like that, the thief vanishes and starts a fire at the Babelese embassy. Interesting. And are you sure it was the Yatagarasu who appeared here? Of course. But to slip by such tight security, and then disappear into thin air, we will need to conduct a very thorough investigation of this area. Yes, my thoughts exactly. In order to find out the truth behind what happened here, I should start by gathering as much information as I can. Is it possible Yatagarasu hid in these bushes? Of course not! They're rose bushes! You've been spending so much time with Scruffy and that girl, they're rubbing off on you. But it's alright, I'll wake you out of your stupor. Now, the next time you feel like sleep-talking, remember I'll whip you for real. All I tried to do was offer up a possibility, and this is what I get. There's an overturned spotlight. When the Yatagarasu appeared, the audience that was waiting for the speech to start panicked. I suppose that's when someone must have knocked it over. I'm having a tough time visualizing the mass confusion that took place here. I thought to use my whip to capture the Yatagarasu. However, there were people my way, and I was unable to land even a single lash. I suppose this means that some other poor saps were hit instead. A statue of a woman. I wonder if the lady is pouring water. It says it is a statue of the queen who spoke of love to King Primadux. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it seems you are lousy at reading a woman's heart. I opened my mouth about a statue, and she somehow made the leap to that. There are roses scattered on the surface of the water, creating a pleasant fragrance. It's not just for aesthetics. This pool's water is also used in putting out fires. I see. Oh. The pool stopped filling itself automatically. The fountain spouts are set to stay open until the pool's water reaches a certain level. If this water is used to put out fires, I suppose it must be refilled to its normal level. Which suggests this pool was recently used somehow in this embassy. I guess I'll take some notes about it just in case. How dare you surprise me like that? I'm sorry! Oh hey Edgy, thanks for what you did back there. Your gratitude alone is enough. More importantly, Larry, this pool is not for your personal enjoyment. I know that! Do you really think I'm the type to just jump into a pool and swim around for fun?
Objection!
Alright then, did you by chance fall into the pool? Nice guess, but no dice. So you know my son, right, Edgy? Your son. I guess I kinda lost sight of him when I shook hands with the ambassador. And I'm pretty sure he was around here when I last saw him! You imbecile! How can you be so flippant at a time like this? What are you going to do if your son fell into the pool? And how old is this child of yours anyway? Huh? Oh, how old is he again?
Hold it!
Larry, this is the first I've heard of a son. Who exactly is the mother? The mother? Oh, that chick! The pink princess! The pink princess.
Hold it!
Miss Von Karma. I was a bit confused by this man's words for a bit there. However, I believe what he's looking for is the doll of the Iron Infant. Yep, because I'm the Steel Samurai through and through. Heart and soul. And the Iron Infant is my cute little son. You have given a whole new meaning to the phrase, an astounding fool. Larry, we have not seen hide nor hair of the Iron Infant. Rest assured, if we should find him, we'll let you know. Now get out of there. Sounds good. In that case, I'll go search over there. No, hey, wait! Ugh. Well, it's not as if he'll get very far swimming around in that pool. And though he's unrelated to the murders, he sure knows how to cause a lot of trouble. Hey, Mayatsumi, welcome to the stream today. Thanks for stopping by. He's just swimming in the pool, like, in his entire full costume. Oh, Larry. I suppose Ambassador Alba sat in this chair. Ambassador Alba is very elderly. The chair was prepared for him should he have gotten tired during his speech. In that case, why didn't he plan to make his speech sitting down in the first place? The ambassador is also quite prideful, that's why. He sounds like my old principal from grade school. We'd speak at assemblies. Mayatsumi, thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you, thank you. This is the fifth case of the first game, and we are a third of the way through. So this is where Ambassador Alba was to give a speech. The stage was set up nicely, however, where was the audience supposed to sit? Perhaps they were supposed to sit around the edge of the pool. That's such poor planning if there was no place other than a spot or two by the pool. They really should have made a seating arrangements like how the gallery is set up in court. Indeed, you can sense that consideration for the viewers was taken with those. So in the end, the speaker and his audience were to stand the whole time, huh? Yes, although I suspect the audience would have liked to sit down after a while. Oh, I can't go up on the podium. These are some beautiful roses here. They appear to be well maintained. You're being too nice, Miles Edgeworth. The arrangement is devoid of any design sense. Roses only truly shine when they're grouped by color. One color per location. They lose their beauty when they're all mixed together like this. I can't tell if she's being sarcastic or not. On second thought, there's a rather serious look on her face. I'd better leave it be. They should really rethink the proper balance of these roses. Of all the people to comment on the proper balance of things. This statue bears a resemblance to the Primadux statue. The plaque says King Primadux and the battlefield. In order to save the queen, King Primadux put his life on the line and went to war. So Primadux was actually a person of royal blood. I thought he was simply someone imitating a character from an ancient legend. Well, what surprises me is that a person who looked like the Steel Samurai existed. I suppose there's that too. How's the investigation proceeding on your end? Line Z says, that's top secret. If you're going to attempt to imitate your superior, at least do it well. I don't suppose he believes in the accidental leakage of information. Have you finished checking out all the bystanders? Yes, sir. And we found 14 counts of pickpocketing, 16 counts of illegal parking, and 1 person ran a light, sir. Don't tell me you didn't find out anything related to the case. Sir, not a single thing, sir. Well, for now, let's just get those other lawbreakers down to the precinct. Agent Lang. Well, if it isn't Mr. Prosecutor. I would just like to thank you for your assistance earlier. Make no mistake, it's not like I was trying to help you with what I did. After I left, did you receive word from Ambassador Alba? We're to wrap up our bodyguard assignment at the end of today. Oddly enough, we received word from HQ to return home on an urgent matter. Huh, as if I could be so easily called away from this case after I've come this far. I swear I'll find the truth and drag it out screaming into the light. You're with me on that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? You were working as Ambassador Alba's bodyguard at the time. So naturally you witnessed when the Yatagarasu appeared, correct? Yeah, I saw the thief alright, with my own 2 eyes. The Yatagarasu was always there, lurking in the shadows. When the spotlights were turned on for Ambassador Alba's speech, a shadow appeared. That's when cries of, "It's the Yatagarasu" rang out. The next second, the spotlight went out. And by the time we got the area lit again, the deaf thief had vanished. When we investigated afterwards, we found the reason the lights went out was because someone had unplugged the extension plug for all the outdoor electronics. Whether it was someone doing it on purpose, or simply a guest who tripped over it, we don't know. One thing's for certain, the Yatagarasu was here. So you're saying that basically all you saw was the thief's silhouette? Yes!
Objection!
If all you saw was a shadow, then it's entirely possible the shadow belonged to someone else. Ha! Good thinking, sis. You just might be right. If it weren't for the fact there was no one else with that same shape. Not among the staff or the audience members. My men have already done a thorough check of everyone, so I know I'm right. Someone else's shadow. That sounds like a plausible hypothesis. The suddenly appearing and disappearing shadow of the Yatagarasu. I believe I figured out its true origin. I expected no less from my subordinate. Now, let's hear what you know on the subject. What really casts a shadow of the Yatagarasu?
Take that!
The suddenly appearing and disappearing shadow of the Yatagarasu. Is it not possible it was created by this statue?
Objection!
Are you playing me for a fool, Miles Edgeworth? The statue bears absolutely no resemblance to the shadow of the Yatagarasu. You are correct. However, this statue is but one part of the whole picture. What do you mean by only one part? What is the other part to the real form of the Yatagarasu shadow?
Take that!
It's another statue. The Yatagarasu statue is made from the shadows of these 2 statues. Made? What do you mean by that? Right now, the spotlights are all over the place. This is because they were moved when the guests were in a panic state. However, if we were to restore the lights to where they were when the thief appeared, you believe the 2 shadows will create the Yatagarasu's shadow? Precisely. Now then, watch as I reveal the true form of the Yatagarasu. First, if we set up a spotlight to cast a shadow of King Primadux and the battlefield, the shadow of the king's statue would appear on the backdrop of the stage. Likewise, if we set up a light on the queen who spoke of love to King Primadux, her silhouette would also appear on the backdrop to the stage. Aha! So if we were to combine the 2 shadows, it looks nothing like the Yatagarasu shadow. Miles Edgeworth, how do you explain this grotesque shape? Calm down, Francisca. The way the light needs to be shown on the queen's statue is wrong. What do you mean by that? I believe the whole of the king's shadow needs to be used for this to work. However, in the case of the queen, I don't believe her whole shadow is needed. Rather, the person who created the shadow only used one part of her shadow. Only one part? Yes, and that one part alone is enough to fill in the rest of the Yatagarasu's shadow. Why didn't you say that in the first place? You're right. I apologize. Now, what part of the Queen's statue was used to complete the Yatagarasu's shadow?
Take that!
Think back to what is missing in her shadow. 5 long, thin areas, correct? Now, what does that remind you of? Ah! That's right. It can only be the shadow of the Queen's left hand. Francisco, can we please adjust the spotlight's position so that it only shines on the Queen's left hand? Alright, let's give it a try and see what we get. It's... yeah, this is exactly like the shadow I saw. The culprit must have changed the spotlight's positioning beforehand, and then pulled the plug after people saw what the culprit wanted them to see. In their panic, the guests must have moved the spotlights around, which we can assume was also part of the culprit's plan. By the time the lights came back on, the Yatagarasu shadow had vanished. Which means the shadow was a construct from the very beginning. So you see, the Yatagarasu never did visit Alabast tonight. The only country the thief visited was Babel, although it can be assumed that the Yatagarasu had an accomplice in Alabast. An accomplice? But who? I haven't figured that out yet, but I assume it was the person who set up the shadow show. I sense the biggest clue yet to solving this case is the existence of this accomplice. How's the investigation going? Detective Bad have become to join us in investigating the Yatagarasu. I've left the murder in Agent Lang's charge. And my only target, from the very beginning, is the Yatagarasu. So yes. So what have you found out? I got a piece of evidence. May I see it? Sure, but you might regret it. We're here because we are ready to face whatever may come. So if you please. When people heard the commotion, bystanders started gathering. And one woman claimed, "I'm telling you, I'm a genuine international journalist." She gave me an interesting picture. A journalist? Well, actually, she's a freelance cameraman. This is the photo I got from her. What in the world? So of course, he's implying that he got the picture from Lotta, who we saw earlier, but I guess they didn't have enough enough of a reason to actually put her in this case as an actual speaking portrait and witness, so she just got the cameo. What in the world? The Yatagarasu's flying through the air! The times, they are changing. It's not just man, but evidence. Even they lie to us now. When was this photo taken? Apparently right after the fires, on the 4th and 5th floors were put out. It was taken from a nearby building that you can see the embassy from. I see. So this was taken after the fire. The blur in the picture took off from the Babalese embassy. Flew over the boundary and headed for the embassy of Alabast.
Objection!
This is simply not possible. People are incapable of flight. Is that a fact? I've had the pleasure of dealing with a case involving a flying person once. Actually, come to think of it, I've come across a case like that as well. 2, actually. Maybe it happens more than we think. Am I up to the task of solving the mystery behind this photograph? Well, the Yatagarasu took off from the Babalese embassy, so I should start from there. Francisca, I need to return to the Babel investigation for a bit. Alright. So the Yatagarasu was just a shadow. The calling card that was sent is what threw everyone off and made them assume things. It's possible all the events tonight were part of the overall plan. I'm going to continue investigating on the Albastian side. You two, as I always say, don't do anything stupid, alright? I wonder if he's alright. It's unusual for him to be so nice. I think it's simply he is concerned for our well-being, Francisca. Hey Timbit, welcome to the stream. Thanks for dropping by today. I'll continue investigating on this side of the building. Alright, I'm counting on you. Welcome back, Mr. Edgeworth. Now, come on, let's get back to our investigation. Yes, let's. It's the national flag of Alabest, and it features the country's flower crest. Comparing the knife to the crest, it's apparent the knife was extremely well crafted. Yes, every detail of the flower is there on the knife handle's flowers. In my professional opinion, the knife is worth quite a bit of money. Now that's a very valuable piece of evidence. I know that. You're gonna use this to find and steal the truth, right? I suppose you could put it that way. Now then, let's continue investigating. No, I want to talk to the guard. The second I get too close, he just switches over. I see you're back. Well, let's continue with the investigation, shall we? Yes, let's. We'll buy Francisca. I can't get quite close enough to this guy. Dang it! The second the speech bubble appears, he wants to move. Come on, game. Let me get all the flavor text. See, I can talk to that guy really easily. For some reason, the guard on the right is very easy to talk to, the one on the left is really hard. Wait, all this dialogue reset, even though I'm pretty sure it's going to be the exact same thing. Yeah, it's the exact same dialogue, but then it's no longer checked off because I'm in a different section of the investigation now. March 14th, 10:37 p.m. Ablaze Embassy, Secretariat's Office. To think, after all that running around, we're right back where we started. It would appear that way. Hi, Mr. Edgeworth. Have you found Manny's killer yet? I'm terribly sorry, Ambassador Paleno, but I've yet to find his killer. Then I guess his murder really was the work of the Yatagarasu. Let's get one thing straight. It was the work of the fake Yatagarasu. The real Yatagarasu is a noble vigilante who is only out to steal the truth. Miss Faraday, please don't make such a sad face. If there's anything I could do for you, all you have to do is ask, alright? Mr. Paleno? Actually, there is one thing you can do. Will you allow us to take another look around? We didn't have enough time to conduct a thorough investigation earlier. Oh, sure, please, feel free to investigate to your heart's content. Also, there are a few questions I'd like to ask you personally, Ambassador. If it'll bring a smile back to Miss Faraday's face, then I'll gladly answer anything. Thank you, Mr. Paleno. You're a total gentleman. Ha! You don't have to waste such nice words on me, little miss. Hey, it's Sir Paleno! Those two sure got chummy awfully quickly. You know, it's easy to say we're going to investigate, but where should we begin? We should probably start by comparing the state of this room before and after the fire. And then we should look into the matter of the suspicious person you spotted. Yeah, when I came into this room, that person was already gone. But I'm willing to bet that person I was chasing is Mr. Kochen's killer. We don't know that yet. However, it's hard to believe that person is unrelated. Furthermore, because the key to the Yatagarasu stole 7 years ago was found here, it signals that perhaps Miss Yu is also somehow involved. I knew it! That woman is almost definitely Mr. Kochen's killer. Yet again, we don't know that. There are too many mysteries to be solved here. Speaking of the Yatagarasu and mysteries, I received the most mysterious photo from Detective Bad. Uncle Bad! He's taking part in the investigation too? Yes, he's been chasing after the Yatagarasu for all these years. Uncle Bad. Now then, I was told this photo was taken just after the fire. What? This kind of looks like the person in the long coat I was chasing. Does this mean that I was chasing the fake Yatagarasu after all? I don't know the answer to your question, but I don't think people can fly either. But this could be how that person escaped. Well, we'll need to investigate a bit more before we can say anything about that. In any case, let's not dawdle anymore and pick up our investigation where we left off. We still don't know where the blade of the Ablaze knife went. Could it be the killer walked away with it? It looks like all the souvenirs suffered some damage from the fire. I just don't believe it. Murder on top of arson? What disgrace in the name of the Yatagarasu? The fake Yatagarasu is guilty of much more than just theft, it seems. I know, because if it were me, my first priority would have been to loot this bookshelf. You would steal ordinary souvenirs you can buy virtually anywhere. You can't buy them anywhere, each one is specific to a location and has its own value. And items that have memories attached to them are the most valuable of all. Could you really rob someone of their valuable memories just like that? No, because even if I take the souvenir, I can't take the owner's memories. A grandfather clock. This one resembles the one at Alabast. Oh, that clock has been with us since back when we were still Kodopia. That is one big clock. Hey, does this one have a bird that pops out like a cuckoo clock? I'm sorry, but no. Oh, but I'm sure you'll love its chime. Really? It's gonna be 11 soon, so maybe I'll get to hear it then. Is that time already? Time sure flies when I'm involved in an investigation. Oh, it's not that late. The night's only just begun. Okay, it's not good for you to stay up late, you know. Yes, Gramps. Ambassador Paleno, would you happen to know what these charred remains are of? I don't know, actually. But I don't think there was anything here that should have been flammable. So it remains a mystery as to what was burned here. It's the charred remains of the fallen ceiling fan. Oh, I've seen a few of these before. They spin around and around and play music. I believe you're thinking of a musical mobile for babies. Yeah, that's it. But they're nothing alike. They're totally alike. They spin those babies right round like a record. I see. I guess I can see how you might think that. So this is a real Primaduck statue. This is really valuable, right? That's what they say.
Hold it!
Hey, you're not seriously considering the theft of the statue, are you? No way, Mr. Edgeworth. I wasn't thinking about anything like that. I was just calculating in my head how much the statue's worth. That sounds mighty suspicious to me. It appears that Mr. Kochin's body has been taken in for autopsy. The white outline is all that's left to tell the tale of his murder. Ambassador Palena, what exactly used to be here? That used to be a stack of brand new pamphlets. But it looks like they were all burned up. I guess we'll just have to reprint them. But no matter how fast we reprint them, they always disappear so quickly. Is the Ablaze tourism industry really that hot right now? Of course! Although recently, the most popular vacation destination has been the Republic of Virginia. But we refuse to lose to them, so we've been hard at work promoting Babel. Interesting. Well, I've just recently returned from a trip to Virginia myself. Oh, and how did you like it? It was alright. I probably shouldn't bring up the fact that I was a suspect on the flight home. The safe wasn't open at the time of the fire. You could tell because the inside wasn't burnt, right? Yes, and thanks to the safe's fire resistance, the smuggling evidence was preserved. Aren't safes great? They always hold the wonderful promise of treasures within. Well, this one certainly did have a few inside. It appears that this area was heavily damaged by the fire. Yeah, I guess we should hurry up and get started examining everything. I won't rest until I've inspected every single suspicious nook and cranny. That looks like a very comfortable chair. Well, it doesn't look all that broken, so why don't you try sitting in it? No, I better not. It's very important we preserve the crime scene at all times. Wait, but you're always touching all sorts of things at crime scenes. That's because I'm a prosecutor and it's part of my job to examine things. And my job is to be a great thief, which is exactly why you are not allowed to touch anything. So I guess embassy phones are just like normal phones, huh? Well, what did you imagine them to look like? I thought that Babbles would look like a flower and that receiver would be a butterfly. That way, it looked like the butterfly receiver was sucking nectar from the flower base. If any country had a flower phone, it would be Alabas, don't you think? Oh, then maybe the phone I envisioned would have been from when they were Codopia. That's really no point in asking me about something that never existed in the first place. Huh, you know what you lack, Mr. Edgeworth? Curiosity and an imagination. There's a bottle of Babelese ink on Mr. Cochin's desk. And it looks like there's still a lot of ink left inside. The seal is unbroken, so the fire probably couldn't get into the bottle to burn up the ink. Hey, Mr. Paleno, it looks like your precious Babelese ink is alright after all. What? That's odd.
Hold it!
Ambassador, what do you mean by that? Well, it's just that there's something strange about the ink. Would you mind elaborating on the statement for me? It would appear this desk also fell victim to the fire. But it doesn't look too damaged. Oh, I think we can rifle through this drawer a bit. I suppose we really should take a look. This is a rather unusual shape for a notepad. I suppose this must be another souvenir from somewhere. It seems the contents of this drawer survived the fire rather well. Now that's a sturdy desk. I guess that's the value of solid wood construction. Let's see if there's anything useful left in here, Mr. Edgeworth. It looks like a bunch of flyers with coupons attached to them. Abel sure gives away a lot of different coupons. Maybe I should create one of my own. I could call it the Great Thief Coupon. What kind of discount would that net you? The 5-finger kind, what else? And I'd steal an extra thing or two for the bearer. Things such as the truth. What else would I steal? What I wouldn't give out of a mountain of your coupons right about now. There's only one book left standing here. Treasures of the World. Wait, what? Let me see that. Uh-huh, I see. Ah! The most important part was blackened by the fire. Why, cruel fate? Why? It looks like the map of where the treasures are located has been burnt. Manny Cochin. His name is written here on the nameplate. Why don't you put a nameplate with your name on it in your own office? I suppose it's to inform people in case they walked into the wrong room by mistake. Do you think that maybe it's also there to remind you of your own name if you forget? Well, either way, it's never a bad thing to set a nameplate on one's desk. It looks like a bunch of flyers with coupons attached to them. Apple sure gives away a lot of different coupons. Maybe I should create one of my own. I call it... This is the same dialogue. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold?
Eureka!
The shape of this notepad matches the shape of this note we found. Hey, you're right. What is it? It looks like something straight out of Monument Valley. Ah, yes, that notepad is a souvenir from somewhere in your country. We've been collecting them for the purpose of studying them, you see. Yes, I do. You do seem to be quite passionate about it. Oh, would you like to see my souvenir collection? I'd love to show it to you. Are you sure they haven't been burnt to a crisp by the fires? Ambassador Paleno, I wonder if you might recognize the handwriting on this note. This looks like Manny's handwriting. I see. In that case... Oh, did you figure something out? This note was found at Alabast. Specifically, it was found being firmly grasped by the murdered Damask II. Damask II? Then this note... Yes, it was a request from Mr. Cochin for Damask II to steal the Primadux statue. What? Manny tried to steal Alabast's Primadux statue? We would know for sure if we could run a handwriting analysis. Ambassador, do you have any documents that were handwritten by Mr. Cochin? Yes, I can gather a few and give them to you. I'll have to ask Detective Gumshoe later to run the analysis. I can't believe that Manny would even think of doing something like this. Do you have any idea as to why he would have requested the theft of the statue? There is one possibility, but mind you, it's just my personal speculation. Anything you could tell me would be of great help, Ambassador. Hey, Psycho Reaper, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Now then, Ambassador, I'd like to ask about your movements before the fire broke out. Before the fire? Which fire are you talking about? Which one? There was more than one tonight? Huh? Oh, yeah, I see. I guess you didn't hear about it. We had 2 fires here at the Ablaze embassy tonight. What a bother all of it was. Wait, but the only fire we know about is the one after the Jammin' Ninja show. Well, the first occurred at the start of the Jammin' Ninja show. Luckily, only the 4th and 5th floors of our embassy caught on fire. Not wanting to cause a panic among the theater goers, we decided to keep it internal. Then the fire after the Jammin' Ninja show was the second one of the night. Exactly. So the fire I witnessed was the second one. Come to think of it, didn't Detective Bad make a reference to the first fire? When was this photo taken? Apparently right after the fires. On the 4th and 5th floors were put out. I suppose this means that the photo was taken just after the first fire was put out. So then, what was the extent of the damage in the second fire? The second fire was contained to this floor, and the 3rd floor. I think it was left over embers from the fire on the floors above it that caused it. That's, how should I put this, a very bad stroke of luck. My office on the 5th floor, Manny's office here, and Manny himself are all gone in the blink of an eye. I feel so sorry for you, Mr. Paleno. Oops, look at me going on and on. Now then, what was it you wanted to ask again? We were discussing what your actions and whereabouts for today were, and if you happen to know what Mr. Kochin's actions and whereabouts were as well. Yes, very well, let's see. I've been quite busy all day from morning until now. First I woke up and then I brushed my teeth. After that I had a roll for breakfast.
Hold it!
Fascinating. How about if you just skip to the relevant parts for me? Oh, you like a cadet's version? Alright, I can do that for you. So what did Mr. Kochin and you do this morning? Well, originally we were supposed to meet and shake hands with the Jammin' Ninja. But Manny and I wanted to turn into a photo op, so we were here tidying up his office. You helped clean Mr. Kochin's office. Why were you not cleaning your own? Oh, I think I forgot to mention this, but my office is currently undergoing renovations. Which is why both the Primitive statue and the Ablaze knife set are down here. I see. Oh, but the tidying didn't take that much, really. We just burned some files we no longer needed and expired coupons in the fireplace. I bet cleaning up the fireplace must have been a real pain though, huh? Ah, about that, I kind of forgot to clean the ashes out. I guess I'm up a creek without Manny here to get angry at me.
Hold it!
An ambassador like yourself has been on the receiving end of a secretary's anger. Oh, he was very good at being mad. Why, even just this morning he got mad at me. I spilled some Ablaze ink onto the back wall when I was burning the files, you see. And he got mad at me, saying that I should treat the ink with more respect. Talk about the boss getting bossed around. That's about it for what we did this morning. Just some cleaning. Don't tell me you had no other work to do. Being an ambassador and all. Now then, if you could tell me what you and Mr. Kochin did this afternoon. Well, Manny and I went down together to the Theatrum Neutralis. We had to be there for the start of the Steel Samurai stage show. After the show started, I went back to my office on the 5th floor, alone. So they were together until the start of the Steel Samurai show. A little while later, after I'd straightened myself up a bit, I returned to the theater. Because I was to take part in the photo op on stage at the end of the show. There was a commemorative photo op in the end. It was a fantastic photo of the 3 of us. Ambassador Alba, the Steel Samurai, and myself. After the photo shoot, I went back to my office on the 5th floor to prepare for my handshake photo op with the Jammin' Ninja. He seems to be rather overworked for an ambassador. When I got to my office, that's when the first fire broke out, and I escaped down the stairs. My office was completely destroyed, but thankfully no one was hurt. I admit I ran away from the first fire as fast as my legs could carry me. During the second one, I pitched in and helped the embassy staff put it out. So you didn't see Mr. Kochin again after the start of the Steel Samurai show? Yes, that's right. The next time I saw him, he was lying there, in eternal sleep. I see. Ambassador Poleno, I thank you very much for your help. I'm sorry I couldn't be more assistance, Mr. Edgeworth. If there's anything, please don't hesitate to ask, alright? I wonder if you might tell me what you noticed about Mr. Kochin's bottle of ink. I just thought of it right now, but during the second fire, Manny was worried about his office, so he came rushing back to it. I called out to him, and when I received no reply, I used my spare key to open the door. When I did, I was greeted by roaring green flames. The flames were so big I wasn't able to see into the room at all.
Hold it!
The fire was green. What was the cause? Well, white crystal oil burns green when it's lit, as you can see by this lantern. And Babali's ink is made from the same oil, which means it would also burn green. You know, I too had thought it was Manny's ink that had caught on fire. So that's why I was surprised to find out it still had the bottle of ink left on his desk. The case of the perplexing green flames. Talk about a mystery. What exactly was it that caught on fire in here? I believe that you said you might have an idea as to why Mr. Kochin hired Damask II. Actually, I fear it may be my fault. As I was telling you earlier, we were to determine which statue was the real one as part of today's event. But because of the Yatagarasu of the fire there, it got cancelled, didn't it? Haha, I'm actually relieved the rest of the event has been cancelled. For you see, Babel's statue, well, it's just a replica. And did Mr. Kochin know that about Babel's primitive statue? Of course he knew. That's why he was the only person I could consult with. We had to do something once our statue was revealed as a replica. As to be expected, I was very nervous today, as this would impact our country's authority. Yes, I understand. Well, when I told Manny my concerns, he said, "Let me handle it. It'll be alright. I'll find a way to make sure you're the ambassador of the reunited Kodopia." At the time, I thought he was just trying to cheer me up. When I saw that note, I realized he was serious.
Hold it!
Mr. Kochin conducted a lot of business behind your back. I assume he did all that to ensure that you were the next Kodopian ambassador. But why was he trying so hard, I wonder? He was so much better at getting things done than I ever was, or will be. I don't have an answer yet as to why he was trying so hard. But I suspect he had an ulterior motive in mind, beyond just simple kindness. Oh, here you are, Mr. Edgeworth! Detective Gumshoe, have you collected the information I requested? Yep, got it right here, sir. Here you go, Kay. Feel free to take a look. It's for you, after all. What is all this, Gummy? It's all the information on this room that I got from the embassy and the Interpol people. Now we know exactly how this room was before and after the fire. Good work, Detective. Oh, it was nothing, sir. I'm an expert at getting people to talk. Wow, you two remind me so much of my father and Uncle Bad. What do you mean? As prosecutor and detective, your dynamic is just like theirs back in the day. Well, don't you worry, I'm gonna find my own wonderful partner someday. And when I do, I'm gonna become a good Yatagarasu, just like my father, right?
Hold it!
Please don't ask me questions to which I have no answers to, Kay. However, I can say it is truly a wonderful thing to find a partner you can trust. You bet! So what now, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, I'd like to ask you for a favor. Yes? That gadget. Mr. Thief, is it? That thing you call your secret weapon. Oh, you mean Little Thief? You're coming to rely on it, aren't you?
Hold it!
I don't need a crutch like that. I'm only asking because I need it for the investigation. From the information Detective Gumshoe gathered, and the Ambassador's testimony, I'd like you to please recreate this room as it was during the third floor fire. You got it. Alright, here we go. Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Seems there are other things besides what the ambassador mentioned that have changed. It's possible we might find the escape route the person K saw used as well. Oh, what is this? Is this some sort of light show I was not told about? This is the power of a true vigilante. It's recreating the room with the info I inputted. Really? That is certainly one interesting device you have there, Miss Faraday. I believe it's time we return to our investigation. It looks like one of the Ablaze knives was already missing before the fire began. So it would seem. Especially since the other two knives' handles were burned away. The remaining handle was swapped out with the handle from the real murder weapon. And Babel's national treasure was stolen. Poor Babel, don't you think? I'm not sure how to lump the replica statue in with the rest of Babel's woes. Oops, nope, not that. Yes? Ready for a review on how to use Little Thief? Okay, here we go. Objects outlined in yellow are things that are not present in our time, but were in the past. Things outlined in a dotted line are things that exist now, but didn't exist in the past. I see. You can examine and interact with replicated people and objects as you normally do. You can even present evidence whenever you find an inconsistency. Oh, and be sure to point out mistakes in the recreation evidence too. I think I remember now. Thank you for the refresher, Kay. If there's something you don't get about Little Thief, feel free to ask anytime, okay? I've inputted all the info we got from Gummy and Ambassador Paleno. With this recreation, you should be able to tell what changed because of the fire. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's try investigating this room one more time. Yes, let's. In order to find out what truly happened here in this room, we will need to gather more information from this room. It's time to take another look. Looks like it was quite the fire, huh? Yes, it appears the flames spread fairly quickly to some of the other rooms as well. Yeah, but thanks to Gummy's info, I was able to recreate this room. Plus, the burn stuff is still lying around, so you can check those as well. The state of this room before and after the fire. I could probably obtain some new information by comparing the differences. Yes, that's what I'll do, and use any new information to complete my logic. Does this give me the same dialogue? It looks like all the souvenirs suffer some damage from the fire. I don't believe it! Murder on top of arson? Okay, this is the same dialogue. Hey August, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for following me, being a froggy friend. Welcome in. These must have been the large green flames Ambassador Paleno saw. With flames like these, it's no wonder he couldn't get in. Okay, by the time he came into this room, had the fire already been put out? Yeah, the fire died out or something by that time. And this fire in here only burned from the time the fire started on the 3rd floor. Until the Yatagrasu appeared and caused a stir in Babel, I suppose. I guess Mr. Paleno was just lucky enough to run into this fire as it was burning, huh? Yes, you could put it that way. And since you were the first to discover the body, we can assume that no one else entered the room until that time. No one other than the person you were chasing, of course. I knew it! That person I saw was definitely up to no good. I mean, that person could even be Mr. Kojin's killer. That is very likely to be the case. After all, that person came into this room before you. And must have chosen this room precisely because they knew no one would be in here. Okay, then maybe the green fire was where it was to prevent anyone from coming in. But then, what did the person set on fire to make the green flames? Well, whatever it is that person burned, it made a rather sizable fire. And since the fire is green, well, we've seen something that burns green, right? It's a bit tinier than these flames, but you get what I mean. Yes, and I do believe that what you were thinking of is exactly why these flames are green. Which fire-related piece of evidence burns the same color as these green flames?
Take that!
The source of the green in these flames is related to this. Oh. Oh, really? I don't think they're related at all. Well, they're tangentially related. Oh. Sorry. It really isn't related after all. Well, technically it is, but it's not what they're looking for. Hey, you honestly apologized this time for being wrong. What? I'm always honest. And that's a good thing. Just keep on doing it. Ugh, I need to think about this a bit more carefully. If I stay calm, the answer should come to me. This green flame is the same as that other flame. Which fire-related piece of evidence burns the same color as these green flames?
Take that!
The silhouette lantern. Its green flame comes from the white crystal oil it's burning. Yeah, that's the fire I was thinking of too. I love the green it gives off. I think we've now established the green flames were caused by white crystal oil. Furthermore, we know that there's only one other thing made from white crystal oil. Oh, you mean that thing Mr. Paleno was mistaken about, right? Yes, precisely. As we found out earlier in our investigation. What? I don't get it. Can you please fill me in, sir? Fine, I suppose. I'll explain it in a way that even you can understand. This is the thing made from white crystal oil that Ambassador Paleno was mistaken about.
Take that!
Babali's ink is made from white crystal oil. Oh, so it should burn the same color as the flames of the lantern, right? Yes, precisely. However, the green flames in this room were not from the bottle of Babali's ink. Because we found the ink Mr. Kochin used on his desk, right? Yes. However, we know that Mr. Kochin was smuggling the ink in massive quantities. Now, what do you suppose he made using all that ink? I believe what he made with that ink is the answer to what gave birth to the green flames. Oh yeah, I'm beginning to really feel the energy coming from you, Mr. Edgeworth. Huh. It would appear that I finally found it, the smuggling ring's real goal. Made of Babali's ink, this is the source of the green flames.
Take that!
What would consume that great of a volume of ink to make? That would be the counterfeit bills that the smuggling ring made and are circulating in Zhengfa. You're kidding! You're saying it was Mr. Kochin who made the counterfeit bills? I am. I believe you could even go so as far to say that he stole Babel's printing press. Ambassador, Mr. Kochin had permission to freely use the printing press, correct? Why yes, and I do remember him using it in the middle of the night. But never did I think he was using it for such a foul deed. Ambassador, because of your secretary's crimes, you will need to be investigated as well. Ah, yes, I suppose so. We've caused a bit of trouble for a few countries, haven't we? It's my duty to search out all who shielded Mr. Kochin and concealed his crime. For they are the ones who started the fire in order to destroy the evidence. This grandfather clock, it was apparently in a different position before the fire. According to staff members, the clock was flush against the wall before the fire, sir. Which means that most likely it was moved by someone during the fire. Speaking of which, it's totally 11 o'clock now, but I don't hear any chiming. Huh? That's odd. It was still chiming right on the dot of every hour this morning. Maybe the fire damaged its internal mechanisms or something. Ambassador Paleno, may we take a look inside the clock? Sure, go right on ahead. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please inspect the insides of this clock. Yes, sir. I'm on it. Mr. Edgeworth, I found this inside, sir. It looks like a length of wire. So this is what caused the clock to stop chiming. What was the long length of wire doing inside this clock in the first place? Why would someone do this to such a valuable clock? It sounds like it wasn't Mr. Paleno who put the wire in there. Then perhaps it was Mr. Kochin's killer who did. Detective, you took part in the initial Babel investigation, correct? Yep, sure did. I also helped put out both fires, sir. But that first fire took me by surprise. I had a tough time escaping the 5th floor. First I tried the elevator, but I guess someone else had the same idea, because it was in use. If I hadn't remembered to use the stairs at that point, I'd been burnt to a crisp. Wait, that's odd. We always warn our staff that in case of a fire, it's dangerous to use the elevator. Oh? Maybe someone wrote it in a fit of panic. Detective, did you see the Yatagarasu that came into the Babali's embassy at all? I didn't personally. And the other staff members told me they never got a good look at the person either, sir. I wonder if you could tell me a bit more about what you discovered, Detective. The second fire broke out around the time the Yatagarasu was spotted in Alabast. That's also when a suspicious person was spotted in Babel, which caused some panic.
Hold it!
So no one was able to get a good look at this Yatagarasu that entered Babel. Yeah, all they saw was a mysterious person wearing a long coat. That's not enough to make a positive ID, you know? Still, it was enough to make the people who received the calling card panic even more. The person in a long coat sounds like the exact same person I saw. The Yatagarasu that appeared in Alabast was proven to be just a fabrication, a shadow. In light of that fact, the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babel is also a suspect. You can't be serious. Not when we're this close to capturing the fake. I mean, Callisto, you! So the Yatagarasu appeared, caused mass confusion, killed Mr. Kochin, then disappeared. By the way, Detective, why did you not chase after the Yatagarasu? I did, but well, this embassy is huge, sir. I got separated from the other staff members I was with and got lost for a while there.
Hold it!
You didn't even memorize the layout of the building you were to guard, Detective. I'll be sure to do that from now on, sir. But you know, it was thanks to me being lost that I was able to come to Kei's rescue. Oh, is that a fact? Yeah, it was when I was lost and wandering around in the 3rd floor hallway, sir. When I heard a scream, I headed towards it right away. Oh, that's probably from when I found Mr. Kochin's body. Yeah, I thought it sounded like her, so I got real worried and ran as fast as I could. And it was thanks to Gummy that Mr. Mishina wasn't able to take me away. He covered for me until you got here, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, I see. So he can be useful once in a blue moon. Still, it's too bad Agent Sheena got here before I did. I wonder where Agent Sheena was before you found her here. Well, just before I got to this room, I saw her coming out of the room next door. Agent Sheena mentioned something about chasing the Yatagarasu herself earlier. Well, she apparently helped to put out the first fire. Then during the second fire, I heard she was busy chasing the Yatagarasu. She seems to be a very dedicated agent. You would do well to learn from her. Why are you pointing at me when you say that, sir? We've examined everything in this office, but there's one thing that bothers me. Perhaps I should ask Ambassador Paleno about it. Ambassador Paleno, there's something I'd like to ask you about. Yes. About this office, it appears to me to be very similar to Ambassador Alba's office. For example, the location of the fireplace and the position of the grandfather clock. Ah, that's right, you've also paid a visit to the Alabastian side of the embassy. Our 2 embassies actually used to be one. Yes, I know. Even the pamphlet mentioned that. Which is why the building is bilaterally symmetrical. So no matter which room, the location of the fireplace and like are exactly the same. Even where the art is located is the same, as my room is currently under renovation. We worked hard to make Manny's room look like the ambassador's office. You mean for your handshake photo with the Jammin Ninja? Yes, that's right. I mean, what is a photo like that worth if it's not taken with the ambassador's office, right? Yet another odd expression of Babel's obsessively competitive spirit with Alabast, I take it. Thank you, Ambassador. That piece of information is all I needed to connect the dots. Connect what dots? Well, anyway, I'm glad I was able to be of some help. So Babel's really into pushing the tourism industry, huh? Yes, it would appear that way. You know, I'd really love to take a trip. Hey, why don't we take one after this case? You already have a destination in mind. Well, ideally, I'd like to go someplace where I can continue my thief training. Well, if you want to learn the fine art of stealth, perhaps you should visit the studio where they make the Jammin Ninja TV show. Hey, that's actually a really great idea, Mr. Edgeworth. I can't believe she took me seriously. That looks like a very comfortable chair. Well, this is the exact same dialogue. You can see the Alabastian embassy through this window. So where were you when you were investigating over there, Mr. Edgeworth? You can see from here. I was there on the 5th floor. That's where Damask II was killed. What? You don't mean the Mask Damask II? Aw, poor guy. As a fellow second-generation thief, I can't just turn a blind eye to this. Note to Master the Second was merely an imposter of the original. A fireplace, huh? So Babal's offices have them too. Two? There's a fireplace in relatively the same location in the Alabastian office. However, we found something in there I'd rather not recall ever again. I still can't believe that we found that undershirt in the fireplace. Huh? If it was that traumatizing, why don't you try recreating new memories with this fireplace? You can climb inside and we can play hide and seek. And come out covered in soot. I think not. Aw, you really have no sense of fun, Mr. Edgeworth. See, the annoying part is some of these things are just repeat dialogues, but they don't have a checkmark on them, but I don't want to go through them. Is it just me, or did the butterfly gain an antenna since we last saw it? Even if it did, would it really have any bearing on our case, Kay? So by this time, the Primnux statue had already been swapped, right? They must have been, as this one is covered in soot. What lousy timing, and just as the two countries were about to become friends again, too. It would have been better if I had stolen it for it to be caught up in that, than for it to be caught up in that fire. Kay, I think I understand your sentiment. However, if you were to engage in theft, I can't look the other way, right? If you could please stop stealing my lines. The Alabastian and Babalese sides of the building are symmetrical to each other. As we know that to be a fact, then this room's fireplace may also hide a secret passageway. A secret passageway? In Alabas, the fireplace turned out to have a revolving back wall. A revolving wall? It sounds like something out of a ninja house. Wow, there was a trick like that built into the fireplace, sir? What? This embassy holds that kind of secret? There seems to be a lot about this room that you don't know about, Ambassador. I guess it's time to pay the bill for letting Manny do so much work for me. Please, I really want to know about the real Manny and what you know about this room. What are you waiting for, Mr. Edgeworth? Let's get to the bottom of this. Agreed. And my first thought is, it's likely the killer used the revolving fireplace. It looks like just another fireplace though, doesn't it? So how do you turn it again? In Alabas, I had to push where the X was on the far wall of the fireplace. Oh, I see an X back there, sir. Let's see what happens when I push it.
Hold it!
Oh, you scared me, sir. There's something about this fireplace that lies in contradiction to the facts. Huh? But we found an X where you thought there'd be one, right? We did, but that's not what I was referring to. Something is missing from the scene. What does contradiction mean for us? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. If we push this X mark, the fireplace wall should turn. A revolving fireplace wall? That's neat, sir! We should hurry up and—
Hold it!
Wait, Detective. There's something we need to examine about this first. Besides which, there's also something I'd like to test. Like what, sir? I'll tell you later, Detective. For now, let's continue with the investigation. All I see inside this fireplace is starter wood. Huh? That's odd. It doesn't match up with what Mr. Paleno said earlier. What's the meaning of this contradiction? Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold?
Eureka!
Ambassador Paleno, you said you burned some old files in the fireplace today, correct? Yes, I burned quite a few files in this morning, actually. After you did you forgot to clean out the ashes from the fireplace, correct? That's right. But why are you asking? Why are you making such a scary face? I'm sorry, I admit I am a bit intimidating when I'm serious. In any case, take a good look at this fireplace and tell me what you find odd about it. Let's see, huh? Where did all the ashes go? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Edgeworth? You don't really think that Ambassador Paleno is lying, do you? No, there's no reason for him to lie. And I don't believe his testimony's wrong either. It is the fireplace that is causing the contradiction. Okay, I wonder if you might update the fireplace data for me. You got it. I'll add in the ashes from the burnt files. And... sounds like we're pretty much figured everything out now, huh? Well, it was nothing. All I did was follow where our leads led us. Oh, I sense it coming. You're about to dazzle us again, right? Oh, you mean that? Well, it's what Mr. Edgeworth is known for, you know. There's really no need for you two to dance around the name of what I'm about to do. I'm about to use my amazing superpower. Logic! The reason as to why the ashes are missing is simple. It's not because someone cleaned them up, right? No, because even if someone did sweep them up, the fireplace is too clean for that. Ambassador Paleno said that he spilled some Ablaze ink while he was burning the files. And yet, there's not a trace of the spilled ink on the back wall anywhere. Well then, I don't know what happened. Well, I'll tell you what happened. The two sides were switched. By using the revolving fireplace wall, the ashes were moved into the neighboring room. Which means that this is a clear indication the fireplace was used. Then you mean the person I was chasing disappeared from this room through there? Yes, I believe the person you were in pursuit of is Mr. Kochin's killer. And after committing the murder, escaped through the fireplace. Wow, Mr. Edgeworth, you figured out the killer's escape route. I have, but this is only the beginning. Now I have to chase the killer down. If the killer used the fireplace in this room to escape into the next, then it's only logical for us to talk with the person who was in the neighboring room. Well, the person that was in the next room was... Oh! It was that person, sir! Yes, Detective. Agent Sheena. It's looking more and more like Miss Sheena's the killer, isn't it? Let's not jump to conclusions just yet. We need to go through what we know so far. She came running straight into this room from the next one, and instantly accused you. Furthermore, she claimed that it could only have been you that killed Mr. Kochin. I don't have any proof yet, however, I know she's hiding something from us. Okay then, why don't we go ask Miss Sheena herself? Hold it! No, not yet. There's something that needs to be done first. Detective Gumshoe. Sir! Is it my turn to do something, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, I have a two-part special assignment for you. First, I need you to run a handwriting analysis on Damask II's note. Okay, I'll get the lab boys on it right away. Second, I want you to see if you can fit through the revolving fireplace wall. Right now, sir? No, next decade. Of course now. We need to test our hypothesis first, don't we? Go on, Gummy, you could do it. Alright, I'm gonna do this like a real man. Here I go, through the fireplace and back. You shouldn't need to psych yourself up that much for such a simple task, Detective. Whoa, the wall inside the fireplace really did turn, wow. That's so neat, now I want to try going through there too. There really is a secret passageway through there. I had no idea. It would appear the ash really was pushed into the other room. Furthermore, the Ablaze ink you spilled, Ambassador, is there on the back wall. Okay, here I go, sir. Hold it. Detective, I'd like you to go through there under the same conditions as the killer. Huh? But there's all that ash and stuff. And your point is? Now, we're short on time, so if you could please hurry on through. Yes, sir. Okay, so now we pretty much have the whole picture, right? No, not yet. There remains a few more mysteries to solve. Such as the Yatagarasu's whereabouts and the other smuggling ring members. The two weapons that made it across the border. The key Miss Yu stole 7 years ago. In fact, we haven't figured out a thing regarding how Miss Yu is related to these embassies. Mr. Edgeworth, A number of pieces connect in a very complicated way in this case. It's almost enough to make one completely mentally exhausted. What are you saying, Mr. Edgeworth? I thought you were the one who said that it's easy if you follow the leads. Was that supposed to be an impression of me, Kay? If it's info gathering you need, Gummy and I could help with that. Then all you'd have to do is show off your fancy logical deductions. Show off? Does it seem like I'm being boastful when I do that? Let's not overcomplicate matters, okay, Mr. Edgeworth? We've been so focused like a laser on only what seems strange and out of place. It's no wonder nothing's clicked and we haven't unlocked anything yet. But if we think things through calmly, the answer should come to us. Okay. That's the sort of thinking, or that's the sort of thing I say to myself. When I'm practicing how to unlock padlocks, you know? That is something I hope practice doesn't make perfect for your sake. Ha! Yay! Looks like you're back to your straight-laced self again. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back, sir. Yes, I could see that. Good work, detective. Looks like you used that fireplace like a door, sir. Are you alright, Gummy? I'm okay. It's just a bit of ash and dust, that's all. Your jacket has gotten quite filthy. I see the hem has practically turned black. Yeah, well, quite a bit of the unburned ink got on it, sir. I see. Thank you, detective. You did a fine job. I'll even pay the cleaning bill for the trench coat. What? Oh no, sir, I could never. This is just my old coat, sir. If it was a coat I actually cared about, then I'd get it clean, but you know. I see. Very well then. As you wish. So because Gummy was able to climb through the fireplace, we know it could be used, right? Yes, but that's not all we learned. We actually learned one other important fact. And that is... I'll have to explain it to you later. Right now, we need to deal with the handwriting analysis. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir! I'll be back before you know it! The handwriting analysis on Mr. Kochin's handwriting would take a bit of time. Let us go and wait in the Theatrum Neutralis along with Agent Lang and Agent Sheena. March 14th, 11:33 p.m. Theatrum Neutralis, lobby. Agent Lang. Lang Z says, "Little cubs never do they know the real fury of the elder wolves." These quotes are definitely becoming increasingly difficult to decipher. What does that mean? It means you'll never know how angry I can get. Mr. Prosecutor. Man, I really like Lang's design. I think he's such a cool character. And I like that smug look on his face, too. The counterfeit bills made with Babelese ink. They were all of Zhang Fa's denominations. Yes, so I heard from Miss Von Karma. We don't know where the play money has gone. They must not have figured out that it was all burned yet. Ever since those things showed up in circulation, my country's economy has taken a big hit. Zhang Fa's in financial chaos as we speak. Because we can't tell the difference between our own bills and the fakes. It's not just the money. The citizens are also worried. I stake the honor of the House Lang on this. And have come to this land to capture the mastermind behind the whole mess. I investigated how the bills were made and how the ink was smuggled into Zhang Fa. And I pursued the smuggling ring all the way here. But tonight, this is where the final chapter was written. Despite my frantic efforts to chase the smuggler down, someone got to him first. And now I'm called to return home without a single answer. Agent Lang, Don't start. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault, Mr. Prosecutor. Ambassador Alba, I'm sorry for all the trouble tonight. Oh, no, it is I who should apologize. It was all because I was not strong enough. If only I was able to think of a better solution. Kirkus, you fool! Curse your empty brain! You're being too hard on yourself, Ambassador. I take full responsibility for tonight. End of story. Sheena, let's go. Time to return to our den. Yes. I don't like to admit it, but there's not much else for us to do but go home as well. Agent Lang, a moment if you... You Wolfman and Secretary Lady, hold it! Objection, pal! Detective Gumshoe? Have you got the results of the handwriting analysis already? Yep, and that note was definitely written by Mr. Kochin, sir. Just as I thought. Good work, Detective. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. How long do you intend to hold us up for? Sorry to have made you wait, but I believe that now everyone is finally here. Agent Sheena, I'd like to ask you something if you don't mind. Yes. How exactly did you fail to see the Yatagarasu? When you were in the neighboring room to where Mr. Kochin was killed. I'd like you to explain that to us. What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, what are you doing asking her about something she didn't see? Agent Lang hasn't touched the Babel investigation at all, so I suppose I'll need to explain a few things to him first. Miles Edgeworth, I can't begin to imagine what's going on in that head of yours. The only thing going on in my head is the pursuit of the truth. Oh, it sounds like you have some sort of plan. Very well, I'll supervise you until the very end. She's seriously gonna treat me as a subordinate for the rest of the day. You're not trying to pick a fight with my subordinate on some flimsy guess, are you? I'm not trying to pick a fight, and the evidence is hardly flimsy, as you will see. Ha! I should have known. You and I are destined to fight it out to the very end. It would appear that way. Well, I'll prove her innocence, so let's see what you've got, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth. With pleasure. For my opening argument, I'll discuss the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babel, and establish exactly who it was that Kay saw. Agent Lang, I assume you've been briefed on Kay's testimony. You mean the suspicious person in a coat she saw? That's right. That person is one of the keys to solving this case. The person who pretended to be the Yatagarasu. Pretended? What do you mean by that? I'll get to that in a second. But first, I want to review what Kay's mystery person did. Kay, if you could please explain for us what the person you were chasing did. Okay, you got it. I first spotted the suspicious person near the open-air stage on the Babelese side. I called out to the person, but as soon as I did, that person ran off. I thought it was rather suspicious, so I immediately gave chase. For the sake of argument, let's call this suspicious person the Yatagarasu. Now please tell us what happened when you chased the Yatagarasu up to the 3rd floor. Can do. I chased the Yatagarasu all the way up to the 3rd floor of the Babelese embassy. It was a pretty straight chase down the hallway until the sudden turn. The Yatagarasu disappeared around the corner, so I did my best to catch up. When I turned the corner, I saw the Yatagarasu run into Mr. Kochin's office. I gave chase and ran into the room. When I entered the room, it was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing. I felt something on the ground next to my foot, so I turned on the light. But then... Ah! Who's there? By the time I turned on the lights, the Yatagarasu had disappeared. When Kay entered the room, the person she was chasing was already gone. Why do you suppose that was, Agent Lang? What do you mean, why do you suppose? Isn't it obvious? The person slipped out through the door behind the girl under the cover of darkness.
Objection!
Sorry, but I know for a fact that the person didn't escape through that door. Oh, how do you know that with such certainty? That's easy. If the Yatagarasu had left through that door, they would have run into this person.
Take that!
Your answer's Sheena. Yes, because let's consider what would have happened if the Yatagarasu had used the door. When Kay screamed upon discovering Mr. Kochin's body, the Yatagarasu would have run right into Agent Sheena, who was in the next room over. Ugh! Agent Sheena, would you mind telling us if you saw the suspicious person in question? No, I didn't see anyone. You see? Therefore, the Yatagarasu could not have escaped through the... It just means the creep slipped out before Sheena made it into the hallway. I doubt that, as there was another person in the hallway. A certain detective. Detective Gumshoe, where were you exactly at that time? Me, sir? Well, when I heard Kay's scream. I ran towards Mr. Coach's office from the opposite direction of Agent Sheena, sir. So Agent Lang, could you explain how someone could have eluded both of them? Even you must concede under these circumstances, the door was not a viable route. No. Way to go, Mr. Edgeworth. You nailed him with just an explanation. What happened? Yes. I've eliminated one of the possible escape routes from that room. It's far from over. I need to make Agent Lang aware as well of yet another possible escape route the Yatagarasu could have taken. Haha! I get it. So that's what you're trying to show me. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, let me guess. This is what you're trying to say, right? Because the door was not a viable escape route, there must have been another way out. Precisely. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, it's time to bust out with a revolving fireplace wall explanation, right? No, not quite yet. Huh? But why? I thought this would be the perfect time. The revolving wall on the Ablaze side is known only to 4 people. If we use this information unwisely, the truth may escape us in the end. What's with all the whispering over there? Scared I'll figure out your tactics? Nothing of the sort, Agent Lang. Come, let's continue where we left off. That smug, haughty attitude of yours. You really rubbed me the wrong way, you know that. Well, no matter. I figured you out already anyway. The only other possible escape route besides the door is the room's lone window. And since an eerie picture of said escape route exists, are you saying this photo captures the moment of the Yatagarasu's escape? I guess Detective Bad must have filled him in on this photo. I have to admit that at first I thought the window to be a possible escape route as well. However, I now know that to be impossible. Now I realize you may not know this, but humans can't fly. Of course I know that. That's bloody common sense. Besides, I never thought that photo to be of Yatagarasu's escape route. I suppose not. Alright then, explain yourself. The shadow in this photo is not the Yatagarasu that Kay was chasing after. You can say whatever you like in whatever language you want. But there's only one language I really understand. The language of evidence. Very well then. I present to you proof that the person Kay saw is not the same as the one in this photo.
Take that!
Let me present to you precisely why the shadow in the photo was not the Yatagarasu Kay saw. Kay spotted the Yatagarasu heading for the 3rd floor during the 2nd fire. However, the photo in question was taken just after the 1st fire. No! Yeah, way to go! That's twice you bit him in the butt now. We're not done yet. You still have yet to explain what the shadow is. And how the Yatagarasu escaped. I don't suppose you can answer both, can you? Regarding the photo, I admit we don't understand what it means quite yet. Ha! As I thought. However, the Yatagarasu's escape route. Now that I can answer. You can? Well then, Mr. Prosecutor, go on. Enlighten me.
Hold it!
Even if I explain it, you'll try to find some flaw with what I have to say. You were busy heading up the Alabastian investigation, correct? In that case, I doubt you'd have much knowledge about the Ablaze side of the case. So, wouldn't it be best if the lead on that side, Agent Sheena, explained in my stead? Ugh, Sheena's my subordinate. If I don't stick up for her, how can I look her in the eye and call myself her boss? I love this, like, personality trait of him, like, being so nice to subordinates. It's like that, you know, the Gap Moe trait for him, right? Lang, it's alright. I can take care of him. Sheena, You shielded me a lot as my boss. It's time for me to prove my worth. Alright, if you're okay with it, then you have my support. Finally, it's down to just Agent Sheena and myself. This is where the battle really begins. Now then, what is it you'd like to ask? Let's see. Why don't we start with your movements inside the Babali's embassy? Sheena's movements. During the first Babali's fire, I assisted in putting out the fire. During the second fire, I was searching for the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babel. While I was searching, I heard a scream coming from the next room over. Although I was in the next room, I was unable to catch a glimpse of the Yatagarasu. To be honest, I'm actually very skeptical that the girl's Yatagarasu even exists. And that is all I have to say. But I'm not lying when I say I saw the suspicious person run into Mr. Koten's office. Like I said earlier, I had no intention of retracting my testimony. Good. Just to confirm, did you have a partner when you were on your investigation? No, I moved alone. In that case, you have no one to corroborate your alibi. Is that correct? Are you calling her suspicious because she was in a room by herself? How pathetic. And it wasn't when Agent Sheena tried to arrest Kay under the same rationale. Ugh. And how about when you accused Larry because he was the weapon's owner? Urgh. Not that it's unexpected for that useless lump to get into such a situation. Although I suppose it's never a good idea to let mistakes go uncorrected. I will make no excuses for what I did in that situation. Then you should apologize right now for making Kay out to be the killer, pal. I'm sorry. Sheena, apologize. I'm sorry. It's really okay. I mean, I'm not under suspicion anymore. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, I never doubted you, not for 1 second. And the same goes for me. I believe in Sheena. Then let's put that to the test, and see if she really is worthy of your trust. Haha, this promises to be interesting. During the first Babali's fire, I assisted in putting out the fire.
Hold it!
So you helped with the fire extinguishing effort. I was in charge of the police on the Babali's side, so I helped them with their work. Police doing the job of firemen. Really know how to work people. She sure does. That's because she's one awesome woman who knows how to manage. I guess so. She's always bringing you a business card or a scroll just at the right time. To prepare everything before I'm ordered to. That is the definition of a secretary. She kinda seems more capable than Agent Lang, doesn't she? At the very least, she's certainly more capable than you, Detective. Oh. I kinda had a feeling you were gonna say that. Sheena's more than just a capable secretary, you know. Sheena, tell him what other things you're good at. Alright. During the second fire, I was searching for the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babel.
Hold it!
By the second fire, you mean the one that consumed the 3rd floor of Babel, correct? Yes, that was when the suspicious person was spotted in Babel. Then you were after the same person in the long coat I was after. There's no proof that the suspicious person was really the Yatagarasu, because no one was able to get a good look at the person's face. By the way, how was your team's investigation? In order to extinguish the fire, water was pumped into the 3rd floor via the windows. So the majority of the investigators conducted their searches on other floors. Maybe they did, but there was one person who was wandering around lost on the 3rd floor. When the fire was pretty much out, I moved to investigate the 3rd floor. And you did that alone? Yes. While I was searching, I heard a scream coming from the next room over.
Hold it!
So you were in the room next to Mr. Kochin's office? I already told you I was earlier. As I was examining the neighboring room, I heard the girl's shrill scream. Upon hearing her, I immediately ran towards Mr. Kochin's office. Wherein you proceed to arrest her, as I recall. Yes, I did. But she was totally innocent, pal. I thought we had already cleared that up. And I thought I already apologized for my behavior. Now, if the tenacious detective would be so kind as to be quiet. Oh! I have to agree. Right now is not the time to take issue with that. Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. What I do take issue with is the fact you didn't see the Yatagarasu, Agent Sheena. Huh. The prosecutors of this country are all so strange. Although I was in the next room, I was unable to catch a glimpse of the Yatagarasu. You were unable to catch even a glimpse despite being in the next room. Is that true? I really hate to repeat myself. I'm sorry for inconveniencing you. However, I simply wish to make sure you are not misremembering something. We wouldn't want you to be accused of lying later on, would we? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor! Are you calling Sheena's testimony a lie? Agent Lang, I'm talking with Agent Sheena right now. So I'd appreciate if you wouldn't interrupt us with superfluous comments. Urgh. Gah. Aw, you know, I feel kind of bad for him. I understand his pain at watching one of his subordinates being accused. However, I cannot turn my eyes from the truth. Lang, I'm alright. As for you, I think you should be focusing your doubts on that girl rather than me. Why is that? To be honest, I'm actually very skeptical that the girl's Yatagarasu even exists.
Hold it!
Are you throwing Kei's words into doubt again? Well, she does claim to be the Yatagarasu, right? And she did try to chase down the Yatagarasu, despite being just an average citizen. Actually, she came here with the goal of capturing the fake Yatagarasu. That's right, which is why I would never lie about anything related to the Yatagarasu. And I suppose you have proof that's somewhere. Not quite, but even without any, I have people who believe in me, and that's enough. I see. Kei's testimony is without flaw, but as for yours... Well, let's just say I find your testimony to be a bit suspicious. There seems to be a very large flaw in her testimony. Oh, then why don't you show her using what we found out with Little Thief? Huh. I will in due time. The escape route of the Yatagarasu the cave was in the pursuit of. If it turns out that it really does lead right to Agent Sheena, then what is it that she is keeping from us right now? Being in the room next to Mr. Kochin's office is the problem with your testimony. Huh?
Not so fast!
Mr. Prosecutor, I don't see what problem you're talking about at all. Agent Lang, do you recall the secret we discovered in the Alabastian office fireplace? Huh? Oh, you mean how it connects the office with the room next door? What about it? Well, Alabast isn't the only country with secret connecting fireplaces. What? The fireplace in Mr. Kochin's office holds the exact same secret. What? Yatagarasu didn't escape through the door to the room or the window. The escape route was through the revolving fireplace wall and into the next room over. Now do you see? If the Yatagarasu had escaped into the next room, then the thief would have went straight into Agent Sheena. Meaning, it's impossible for her to have missed the Yatagarasu. Ugh! Yeah! What is the meaning of this, Miles? Well, would you care to explain, Agent Sheena? How you managed to completely miss the fleeing Yatagarasu, or shall I? Your claim that you were in the next room was a lie all along, wasn't it? The truth is, you were the one Kei saw in the coat, pretending to be the Yatagarasu, and you were the one she chased after. As you tried to lose her, you ran into Mr. Kochan's office and headed for the fireplace. Then, you shed your coat in the next room, leaving it there to emerge as Agent Sheena. After that, you came back around to place Kay under arrest. Does that sound about right? If not, then speak now or forever hold your peace. How dare you make Kay look like a bad guy when you were the suspicious one, pal? Sheena? That laugh. I remember this irritating laugh. Ugh, I'm getting chills down my spine. It can't be, but it has to be. Sheena, what's wrong with you? I'm sorry. It was just so funny. I couldn't help but laugh. Funny, you say? Yes, that you would accuse me of being the Yatagarasu. The prosecutors of this country really are so very strange. Did you like that reveal, chat? Did you like that? Pretty good, huh? Do you think you can get away with this by simply laughing it off? You think I'm taking things too lightly? I think not. It's that prosecutor who is. Huh? Look, everything you said earlier is nothing more than mere speculation. The Yatagarasu fled through the fireplace. Do you have any proof to back up your claim? If you don't, you haven't proven a thing regarding the Yatagarasu's escape route. Hey, Cybernetic Flower, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for following me, being a froggy friend. Oh man, I'm loving... See, when people get to this part for the first time, and they haven't played this before, it's such a good reveal, I like it. The tone of your voice you're taking with me now has certainly changed. That's because it's been a while since I've had this much fun. Exactly, right? Because it's like, it makes sense as everything falls into place, but it's like you curse yourself for not realizing it sooner, right? Depending on when you figure it out yourself. And that's why I think the investigations games are so much better than the regular Ace Attorney games. I think I'll let loose, and then we can have a real battle of wits. Or an agent of Interpol to show me the true power of her mind. It is a great honor. Don't underestimate me. I'm not some foolish broad, you know. I know, and that is why I won't hold anything back either as I answer your question. My question. Here's your proof the revolving fireplace wall in Baba was used recently. Oh wait, here it is. Hey, yeah, welcome to the stream. You played this game back in the day when it came out in DS. Isn't it great? It's so weird to think that it's been this long, right? Since the game came out.
Take that!
I'm sorry, but is this really your honest answer to my question? Yes. According to Ambassador Paleno's testimony, he said he was burning some documents in the fireplace with Mr. Kochan. Oh. The ashes of what they burned were left in the fireplace, so they should have been there. However, when we went to investigate the room, the ashes weren't there. Why is that a problem? Maybe someone cleaned them up.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, Ambassador Paleno said he forgot to. And so the question remains, why were the ashes missing? The answer is simple. When the Yatagarasu went through the fireplace wall, the ashes were pushed into the next room by the wall as well. The movement of the ashes that were in Mr. Kochan's office is by proof. Just what is so funny? Ash is proof. Are you even allowed to submit such flaky evidence in court? You still wish to fight us? Of course. Why wouldn't I? In that case, let's hear your counter-argument. My counter-argument, huh? This really is just like being in court. Well, to me, we're simply continuing from where we left off all those years ago. I have no idea what you're talking about. It doesn't matter if we're at a crime scene or in court. Let's finish this here and now. I suppose. I've had a lot of fun today, but I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Ugh. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. I'm really glad that, Psycho Reaper, you say that you're listening to this at work but you're unable to watch. I'm really glad you're still able to follow this along just with the audio alone. Because I know I'm not super great at doing different voices like Kieran, but I'm glad that it still makes cohesive sense to you. Sheena's rebuttal. In my eyes, all you've proved is that the rotating fireplace wall was used. But you can't really call that proof that the Yatagarasu used the fireplace, now can you? So then, who was it that used the rotating wall? Show me your answer with real evidence. Remember, we've already finished our very thorough investigation, and we found not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Kochan's office. And there you have it. My counter-argument. Ugh. That's very impressive. She has seen through the fact that I have yet to gather that one piece of evidence. What is it, Kay? I haven't heard a peep out of you in quite a while now. If you don't think you can handle it, feel free to leave the rest of it to us. But Kay, pull yourself together. You are the true heir to the Yatagarasu name, are you not? If you want to steal the truth, then you must never take your eyes off of it. This chase you're running to catch the truth. You must see it through to the very end. Mr. Edgeworth, you're right. I will see this through to the end. So, you go get her for me, Mr. Edgeworth. Huh. With pleasure. Oh, I'm glad you think so too, Vanilla. Thank you, thank you. I really enjoy these streams, even if I know they're not as interactive as usual. Looks like a lack of evidence has left you wide open, doesn't it? Sheena, please, show me you're someone I can trust. Don't worry, this will be the deciding match. You'll see. I'm truly sorry, Agent Lang, but I simply can't allow her to escape me again. Very well then, Agent Sheena. Shall we begin? I'm ready whenever you are. In my eyes, all you've proved is the rotating fireplace wall was used.
Hold it!
Sounds to me like you're saying my explanation is not good enough. But I was able to go through the revolving door myself. So that should be proof enough even for you, pal. Ha, it looks like you don't quite understand. By your looks, I can guess you're not all that learned. Ouch! Talk about rude! You should watch what you say, pal! Sadly, I can't say I disagree with her on that one. But you know what I mean, right? You may have proven that the fireplace was used. But you can't really call that proof the Yatagarasu used the fireplace, now can you?
Hold it!
So you want proof the Yatagarasu was the one who used the fireplace? That's right. Well, do you have any? Ugh! Can you prove it wasn't the Yatagarasu who used the fireplace? I don't need to prove anything to you. Oh, objection!
Hold it!
Hey, if you could please not steal my line. Sorry. I just couldn't hold it in anymore. Well, don't fret and leave her to me. All you have to do is sit back and watch. Aha, you may seem to have some wiggle room, but without evidence, it's meaningless. So then, who was it that used the rotating wall? Show me your answer with real evidence.
Hold it!
It's possible Yatagarasu left fingerprints inside that fireplace. sorry, but I had the forensics team check that already. All they found were prints belonging to Ambassador Paleto and Mr. Kochin. Curses! I should have known better than to think the Yatagarasu would have been so careless. But there must be some sort of evidence that we still have yet to find. Aha. I take it you have no further objections. Remember, we've already finished our very thorough investigation.
Hold it!
So Interpol has finished examining the entire Ablaze embassy. Yes, the investigators who weren't allowed into Ablaze were incredibly helpful. They all put in great efforts to search for any sign of the Yatagarasu.
Objection!
And yet, despite all that effort, it appears that they failed to notice the lack of ash in the office fireplace. Furthermore, you were the one who inspected the room next to Mr. Kochin's, correct? I didn't notice the ash there in the fireplace of that room, and for that, I am sorry. You don't need to apologize, Sheena. As your boss, your mistakes are my mistakes. So allow me to apologize for you. I'm sorry. You know, maybe this guy's not such a bad guy after all. He apologizes for subordinates and everything. What a great boss! Are you saying that I don't do anything for my own subordinates? Ah! No, nothing of the sort, sir. You're someone I really respect, sir, even if you are a bit, too strict sometimes. That is only a problem on your end. Wow, way to be super hard on him in response. Am I really too strict on everyone? Anyway, Sheena, you didn't find anything in Mr. Kochin's office, right? That's right. We finished our investigation. And we found not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Kochin's office. So you really didn't find anything? Yes, as I said, not one suspicious thing. Although, as you already know, we did find the Yatagarasu's key in the document detailing the smuggling operation. We still haven't found the blade that belongs to the Babali's knife handle yet. Ha, you see? My subordinates worked so hard to investigate everything. So there was nothing to find, right? Wow, Agent Lang really sticks up for his people. Lang Z says, all men are brothers, and friends become family. Huh, so you see, my people are my family, and their families are my family too. That's a rather large family you have there. But as we all know, there's always one black sheep in any family. And although it pains me, Agent Lang, you will know the black sheep in your family. So, did you actually have any proof that Yatagarasu used the fireplace passageway? No, I haven't found any yet. Then what are we gonna do? There's no need to worry, because there's a loophole in Miss Interpol agent's argument we can exploit first. The one in charge of the Babali's investigation was not Agent Lang, which means that with Agent Sheena in charge, it's possible she may have tampered with the evidence. That piece of evidence that we found. If there's one thing I do know, it's that someone tried to hide it from us. Nothing suspicious, you say, huh? Wait, where is it? Oh, I guess it's this one.
Objection!
You didn't find anything suspicious at all? I highly doubt that. But I didn't. You can even ask the other men. I don't need to, for I found what you should have a while ago. Excuse me? In Mr. Kochin's office, there were signs that someone had burned counterfeit bills there. What in the... That evidence was something you found out through that girl's machine, right? So what if it was? Ah, that's what I thought. But unfortunately for you, a recreation made by machine is hardly concrete proof. Among the ashes you found in the room, did you happen to find any counterfeit bills? No. You see, so there was nothing in that office. Nothing you can call evidence, anyway.
Objection!
Speaking of things that you Interpol agents have missed, I did find one more. Your pompous attitude is unnecessary. All I require is the evidence. Very well. I'll show her the hidden piece of evidence that her and her fellow Interpol agents missed. Wait, no, it's this one.
Take that!
I'd like for you to take a look at this length of wire. And what exactly is this supposed to mean? A length of wire? What about it? I'll tell you what. We found this in the Ablaze embassy not long ago. What? And we found it wound up inside the grandfather clock in Mr. Kochin's office. You found that? At the scene of Mr. Kochin's murder? So, I think you'll agree now that I cannot trust you when you say that Interpol has thoroughly checked every room. And that this throws doubt on the purity of your investigation into the Yatagarasu. You still suspect me, I see. Alright then, I ask that you point out what part of my investigation is incomplete. The other Interpol agents worked under the command of Agent Sheena. And it is not possible that the reason the person K was chasing chose the 3rd floor was because the person knew there would be no other agents on that floor. Furthermore, we've come to see that Agent Sheena was only pretending to be investigating the Yatagarasu to the point of arresting K. In that case, there's one location that no one has yet to inspect. Your team's investigation was incomplete because they failed to inspect this location.
Take that!
The location, Agent Sheena, is of course the room you claim to have examined. I believe the room next to Mr. Kochin's office warrants a thorough inspection. Even if you do that, I doubt you'll find anything of use to you there. I will be the one to decide that. Detective Gumshoe! Yes, sir! I'm on it! I'll be right back after I check out the room next to the office. Must have been so awkward. They're in this heated argument, and then they have to take a break to wait for Gumshoe to come back, so they just stand there in silence. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you really think that Miss Sheena's the Yatagarasu? Yes, if my logic is sound, I believe she is. Then I'm not gonna let her get away with ruining the name of the Yatagarasu. But can you prove she's the Yatagarasu is the question. If Detective Gumshoe can find what I'm hoping he will, then I should be able to. And just what are you hoping he'll find? Let's just say this. I had Detective Gumshoe do a little experiment for me earlier. An experiment? And if that detective has the brains for high science, it wasn't that mentally taxing. I had him use the same escape route as the Yatagarasu. And what did you find out by doing that? First, that it's possible for a person to fit through the revolving wall door. Second, that by going through here, his coat was covered in ash and Ablaze ink. Who cares what his coat was covered in? It's not worth that much anyway. Ah, but is it really worth so little? I believe it's actually quite a meaningful result to the value which I'm about to prove. Mr. Edgeworth, I found some things you really need to see, sir. Oh? So what are these things that you found? Some makeup, a coat, and a pair of shoes, sir. You found a coat! You hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? Maybe it's the one the person I was chasing was wearing. Yes, the possibility does exist. Agent Sheena, were these pieces of evidence not in the room you examined in? Unfortunately for you, those aren't suspicious items of any sort. They all belong to me. They were getting in the way, so I stored them in that room. Aww. Thank you for bringing them to me. It saves me a trip. May I have them back now?
Hold it!
These items the detective brought back are incredibly significant. I request we be allowed to examine them. They're my personal belongings, so you have no right to touch them without my permission.
Objection!
I wish to examine them for the sake of the investigation. But if you wish to deny us access to them, Agent Lang, let's hear your opinion on this. I say, let them look at your stuff, Sheena. Lang! Sheena, let's put it all out in the open. If you're really innocent, then you have nothing to worry about, right? I guess so. Alright, go ahead and examine whatever you like. After all, I have nothing to hide. Good. Now let us begin. So which of Agent Sheena's belongings are you going to which of Agent Sheena's belongings are you going to examine first, sir? Let's examine the coat. Yes, sir! It appears you managed to stain your coat rather badly, Agent Sheena. The Yatagarasu that Kei saw was wearing a coat, and I'm beginning to wonder if the stain wasn't created when you went through the fireplace. No, you have it wrong. That soot probably got on my coat when I was helping the police put out the fire. What about this dark substance around the hem of your coat? Oh, I didn't realize the hem was that dirty. I'm sure it's just some water mixed with soot from when I was helping with the fire. I don't think so. You think you can get away with such a transparent lie? Yeah, don't lie to us, pal. This is the same pattern of dirt that got on my coat when I went through the fireplace. Your words ring hollow in the absence of evidence, you know. So unless you can prove the dirt on my coat is from the fireplace. Which I can. What? How? You did a great job, Detective Gumshoe. Me, sir? What did I do? This coat. This is exactly the piece of evidence I was searching for. I've been hoping to find the coat the person Kei saw was wearing. Thanks to you, we proved that going through the fireplace would sully a coat. I don't quite get what you're saying, but I'm happy for the praise, sir. All that remains is for us to show what the dark substance of the coat hem is. Oh, and you think you can do that? Of course I can. This is the dark substance that sullied the hem of this coat.
Take that!
Ablaze ink. Yes, this is what will prove the coat went through that fireplace. According to Ambassador Paleno, he burned some files in the fireplace this morning. You told us about that already, so I don't really see the point in mentioning it again. My point is he spilled some ink onto the back wall of the fireplace at the time. If the dark substance on this coat turns out to be Ablaze ink, it would prove that you and this coat went through the revolving fireplace wall. Ugh! Sorry to have clipped one of your wings, Yatagarasu. We're not finished yet. But you have no way of proving whether or not this is Ablaze ink on the coat hem. Oh, but I do, and I intend to show that it is ink in a few seconds. How? How, you ask? Well, since you don't seem to know, allow me to show you. This is how I will prove the dark substance on the coat is Ablaze ink. Burn it! We can find out whether that is Ablaze ink or not by lighting it on fire. That's how you're gonna prove it's Ablaze ink. Yes, if we could please cut a section of the dark stained area for me, I'd appreciate it. Because I will show you here and now what the dark substance is. Sheena, sorry to do this, but I'm gonna have to cut off a bit of your coat. Go ahead. I wasn't planning to wear it anymore anyway. Now then, if someone could loan me a lighter or something. Oh, I've got some matches. I always carry them with me so I can light smoke bombs. Then if I could please have one, Kei, we can get this experiment underway. The flame! It's the same color as the flames white crystal oil produces, which means Ablaze ink is a product of white crystal oil, and when lit, the ink produces a green flame. I believe the time has come to clip the Yatagarasu's other wing. Miss Sheena, you're the fake Yatagarasu, the one who killed my father. About time you came clean, Agent Sheena. Or should I say, Callisto you. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, you're not serious, are you? Do I look like the joking type to you? Aha. Callisto you? I've never heard that name before in my life. That manner of speaking and that attitude, you haven't changed a bit in 7 years. You're the defense attorney that killed Mr. Faraday and tried to frame me for it. Oh, really? And you have proof? You insist I am this Callisto you woman, but you can't prove it. If you have no proof, then I'm afraid you won't be able to lay a single finger on me.
Objection!
The raven is a very unique bird, one that flies by the darkness of night. However, the light of dawn has arrived, and it will reveal your true ugly form to the world. Enough poetry. I want to see some evidence. Do you really have something that can prove she is Callisto Yu? I do. It's something the second Yatagarasu has preserved for us these last 7 years. Do me the honor, Mr. Edgeworth. I will, Kay, for we finally have come to the end. We'll prove to her to be Callisto Yu with this, and clip this Yatagarasu's wings for good.
Take that!
This perfume. This will prove you to be Callisto Yu. It will? Kay has preserved it perfectly for us. Surely you remember this bottle. This belonged to Miss Yu just before she disappeared 7 years ago. Naturally, this means that a few of her fingerprints are on it as well. This is the bottle of perfume you spilled, which I have preserved ever since. I heard from my father, Baron Faraday, that if stored under the right conditions, a fingerprint can be preserved for decades. Which means that your fingerprints are still on here. Every last one. We can clear everything up if we were to compare the prints on this to your own. Now come, Agent Sheena, will you submit yourself to a fingerprint test? Looks like you've seen right through me, yet again. You're sending the biggest chill down my spine, Edgeworth. Callisto Yu. So you've shown your true face at last. This feeling of thrill, it's even greater than that time 7 years ago. Sheena, you're... Lang, I really enjoyed our days together. You're an insanely strong, nice, kind-hearted idiot of a man. So you were a spy all along. A mole sent by the smuggling ring I've been chasing after. Someone who's been feeding them intel on Interpol all this time. Very good. Maybe you're not as big of an idiot as I thought. Callisto Yu, the woman who killed my father 7 years ago. You're her, aren't you? The fake Yatagarasu. That's right, Callisto Yu. That's just one of my many names. But even that is just a facade. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the great thief, Yatagarasu. Callisto Yu, this time you won't escape, for this is the end of the road for you. Now come along quietly. You know, you're the one who left the strongest impression on me. Kay Faraday. Had you not used the Yatagarasu's gadgets, I might have never known who you were. But here you are, being a thorn in my side, just like your father always was. Huh? Kay, don't! You, I'll never forgive you for what you did to my father. You really are just like him. Mr. Faraday, too, possessed such laughable honesty. Kay! You let Kay go now, pal! You despicable! Let go of me, you filthy... You think I'm a fake, don't you? Well, unfortunately for you, I'm the real Yatagarasu. But that's impossible! My father was the one who created Little Thief! Hey, Edgeworth. The Yatagarasu has 3 legs. Do you know why that is? Why it has 3 legs? There are 3 main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. No, it can't be! Did you finally figure it out? Did you finally know the real identity of the Yatagarasu? The real identity of the Yatagarasu is... Baron Faraday, Callisto Yu, or neither person. Neither person. The real identity of the Yatagarasu is neither Baron Faraday nor Callisto Yu. But by the same token, they are also both the real Yatagarasu. How very perceptive of you. No way! A single person known as the Great Thief Yatagarasu never existed. Mr. Edgeworth! No! I refuse to believe this! The Yatagarasu is known to have 3 special skills. Skill number 1. The Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. And a lawyer would have the opportunity to learn the layout of client corporations. Skill number 2. The Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. And a good prosecutor would be well versed in the ways of a criminal. And skill number 3. And skill number 3. The Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind. Ever. Detective Bad! It was only natural for the Yatagarasu to never leave evidence behind. Because the lead detective on the case hid it all away. You're the 3rd member of the Yatagarasu! You. I've been looking for you for a long time. 7 long years, but I finally got you. Why, Mr. Bad? Long time no see. What happened to us? We used to be such a great team. If you were such a great team, then why did you kill my father 7 years ago? Why, indeed. It was nothing personal, really. He was just another person I had to kill. How can you say that? I grow weary of this, and it's about time for everything to come to an end. And this time, I won't miss. Stop! You! Kay! It's over, Sheena. Your leg! Agent Lang! Ugh. You idiot! What were you thinking, jumping in front of my gun like that? What are you risking your life for? I'm sorry, Detective Bad, but no matter what sort of past she may have had, or even if she is a spy, it doesn't change the fact she is my subordinate. As long as she is, I can't allow any harm to come to her, not even from you. You really are an idiot, you know that? Huh, that's fine with me. You should know by now that this is just how I am. Hey, sis. Yes. I want you to conduct a full body search. Sheena might have another weapon on her. Alright. Detective Gumshoe, your assistance, please. Sir! Hey, I found something! What is this, sir? It looks like the blade of a knife, but it doesn't have a handle. This is a great find, Detective. Huh? It is, sir! Let's try pairing up this blade with this handle.
Take that!
I believe this blade actually belongs to the handle that was on the murder weapon. Hey, they fit together perfectly! This blade must have been taken from the crime scene when the knife handles were switched. I'm gonna go return this Ablaze knife now! Alright, I trust you'll make sure it is returned to Ambassador Paleno. I believe this makes it perfectly clear who did it. Callisto Yu. For the only time the handles could have been switched is just after Mr. Kochin's murder. Which means you must be Mr. Kochin's killer. You killed Mr. Kochin with the Alabastian knife. Switched the handles and then took the original blade of the Ablaze knife with you. Later, you allowed yourself to be spotted by Kay near the open-air stage. You used the fireplace to lose her, and then you went back to accuse her of the murder. Does that about sum it up?
Objection!
You craft an engaging tale, Edgeworth, but there are 2 problems with it. Problems? In what respect? What do you think my real reason was in allowing her to chase after me? Huh? It was all so I could capture Kay Faraday. What? When I saw you using that device at Gatewater Land, I knew right away that you were Byrne Faraday's daughter. I became curious, so I researched a little into your background. That's how I found out that you were on the trail of the Yatagarasu. So that's why you tried to pin Mr. Kochin's murder on me. Yes, I knew you would show up at this embassy tonight. So I thought to use you. But pinning the murder on you wasn't my only goal. You had another one. Yes. Once I had you under arrest, I had planned to search you and take back the device that rightfully belongs to me, the true Yatagarasu. You were gonna take a little thief away from me. 7 years ago, it was thanks to that device that Faraday was able to infiltrate this place. But he stole more than he should have. I had a tough time recovering the precious key. And the person who stole the Yatagarasu's key was Mr. Faraday. You, that incident 7 years ago. What was the catalyst behind it? In the eyes of the smuggling ring, the Yatagarasu was becoming a bit of a problem. It wasn't an especially pleasant assignment. Then why? Why did you become a member of the Yatagarasu? Why? There is no why. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. From the beginning? What is that supposed to mean? The person I take orders from hasn't changed, even now, to this day. Does this mean the leader of the smuggling ring wasn't Mr. Kochin? Then the real ringleader is still out there pulling the strings. Are you done asking what you need to know? Because if so, we should probably get going. And you're gonna tell me everything you did tonight. Do you understand, Sheena? I guess I should tell you then, that I was the one who set the Babalese embassy on fire. And why did you do that? I suppose it was to destroy all evidence of the counterfeit bills. That was what the smuggling ring was trying to do, but then why start 2 fires? Sorry, but I can't tell you anything about the ring. It's your job to complete your investigation, after all. I've had my fun. Now it's your turn to enjoy the ride. Wait, Miss Sheena. Yes. When I fell to the floor earlier, these fell at my feet. What about them? They're such pretty hair sticks, I thought, well, that I should return them to you. You can have them. They're of no use to me anymore. If you don't want them, you can always just throw them away. No. I want to keep them. Suit yourself. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot, Edgeworth. About the second problem I had with your story. I didn't kill anyone tonight. What? I'm not saying that as a sore loser. Think of that as a hint, if you will. Mr. Prosecutor! Yes, Agent Lang? Mark my words, I'm not done here, and I'll be back. And it's got nothing to do with duty or anything, because this has become my personal case. I may have been shot, but I'll show you just how dangerous a wounded wolf can be. His anger appears to have negated the sensation of pain in his injured leg. It's finally over, Kay. I feel like I peered into her heart a little, you know? And it's so cold, and dark, and incredibly lonely. The person who's giving her all these commands, the one who thought my father was a problem to be removed. That person is the real ringleader behind the smuggling ring. Mr. Edgeworth, I have a favor to ask. Can you hold on to these hair sticks for me? They're really pretty, just like the ones they were selling for the Jammin' Ninja show. But until this case is over, I don't think I can look at them without being overcome. I understand. I'll take good care of them for you. There's a bit of soil stuck on the ends of these sticks. Hey Aru, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I really like Sheena as an antagonist. as Callisto Yu, she's a great foil to Edgeworth, because one, she's a defense attorney, but also her laughter when he's the one who's always being serious and the way it puts him off guard, I think is a very nice foil and counter to him. And then the fact that they use the fact that she's such a boisterous, laughing person as Callisto Yu made it less obvious that she was Sheena, who is a very quiet, reserved individual, and I think that's very clever. And then using the laugh as a reveal, I think, was really good. Plus, I also really like Sheena's design. I think she just looks really good. Really good without being too overly complex, too. Like, her design's not really that complex, but it gets the job done and gets exactly what you want across. Oh, I guess it's that time already, huh? So it's midnight, the dawn of another day. Hey, Pops! Thanks a bunch! You really done a lot to everyone all these years! Detective Bad. Don't tell me today is the day. Yeah, it is. With this, I can retire in peace. I was down to the wire, and we almost didn't make it. But we did it. We solved everything. That's just it. We haven't solved everything yet. The ringleader of the smuggling ring, you, the Yatagarasu, were chasing after. The legend of that Yatagarasu is now over. Mr. Edgeworth, that bit of logic earlier, it was brilliant. I feel like I can leave it all in your hands. I'm counting on you. Is it really true, Uncle Bad? Were you also part of the Yatagarasu? And as I said to you earlier, Kay, I'm truly sorry. I wanted nothing but a peaceful life for you. Uncle Bad. Hey, don't take it so seriously. It's all just one big joke, right? Unfortunately, it isn't. Oh, come on, sir. She's just yanking on my chain, isn't she, Mr. Edgeworth? Detective Bad. Wait, no. You are no longer a detective. Mr. Bad, I'd like to ask you about the Yatagarasu. Oh, you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth. Here, I should give these back to you. These are... the pages from my KG8 case files the Yatagarasu stole from my office. Huh? What? What? Mr. Edgeworth, I must apologize for last night. So the Yatagarasu who stole into my room was you, was it? Wait, then that means... what? Tell me, it's not true. That's too insane for me to believe, sir. It's true, even if it's not something you want to hear. The KG8 incident was a very emotionally trying case. We stood in that courtroom, Faraday as the prosecutor, I as the lead detective. Faraday had evidence in his possession that would prove the defendant guilty. However, because it was stolen, the defendant was found innocent. You was the elder sister of the victim in that case. When the defendant was pronounced not guilty, she let out a great wail. That's when we realized that there was a limit to what the law could do. The only way to bring something like that to justice was to do so outside the courts. That's when we thought, at the time. That's how we formed the Yatagarasu, and vowed to bring to light any dirty dealings companies had with the ring, including companies that dealt with the Amino Group. Mr. Amino's conglomerate. We called ourselves the Yatagarasu and flexed our collective muscle. We exposed all sorts of shady dealings as a warning to the business world as a whole. By doing that, we were able to stop the higher-ups from covering things up. And then it was finally time. We finally arrived at the moment when we find out the ringleader's true identity. It was then that you literally stabbed us in the heart. And Faraday, he died for it. But why? Wasn't she the sister of the victim in the KG8 incident? After Faraday's death, I looked into her past. And that's when I found out that she was a phony. The victim of the KG8 incident, CCU. She never had a sister. What? Then that means... Sheena wasn't the only fake name she used. Callisto U was also another pseudonym. From the very beginning, that woman was a spy sent by the smuggling ring. She said it herself. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. Anyway, let's return to the real topic at hand. Mr. Edgeworth, this trump card that we stuck onto the page of the case file. Please use it wisely. So the idea that Bad was the Turnabout visitor. He held Edgeworth up at gunpoint, and then spoke to him. But did he use like a voice changer or something like that? Because at the very beginning of Turnabout Ablaze, Edgeworth thought that maybe the Turnabout visitor was Callisto U. And there's no way Callisto U's voice would have sounded like Detective Bad's. So they must have had some kind of voice changer going on. Either that or Bad is very good at impressions. Because Edgeworth also couldn't tell whether the Turnabout visitor was male or female either. Even though he didn't get a good look at them, he did hear their voice. That's probably just an oversight though, or something they do. They don't really need to explain it because it's not really like a plot hole. I just wanted to note it because playing this case again, obviously since I played this game before, means that I have the foresight to think about these things as I'm going through it and catch on to things I would not have the first time I played through it 10 years ago. And that's just something that stuck out to me. Trump card. That photo we stuck on there. Try peeling it off. Behind it slumbers a piece of evidence that Faraday hid away all those years ago. It's a mark of the Yatagarasu. But why? This is a directives card from the big boss. Take a look at the back. This was something Kochin had on him at the time of the KG8 incident, 10 years ago. That blood is from the victim of the incident, Miss CCU. But why is that card adorned with the mark of the Yatagarasu? The reason why we called ourselves the Yatagarasu was because of the three-legged raven mark the smuggling ring's boss used. Apparently orders from the boss would come on these cards, without fail. The person who received the order was supposed to burn it immediately after reading it. And apparently it burns a bright green flame when set ablaze. So you mean the cards were written in Babali's ink? The fact the card that Kochin was sent made it into Faraday's hand at all is nothing short of a miracle. We decided that whenever we stole anything, we would send a card along with it to the police. So that's what those white cards are. The great thief had used that mark that only those within the ring would know. It was our message to the ringleader that we were only a few steps behind. That's so badass. And one more thing, Detective Gumshoe. I'm entrusting this to you. This lollipop, straight from my mouth. What is this, sir? This is what I was talking about earlier. During the KG8 incident trial, Faraday had this in his possession. This important, definitive piece of evidence. But I thought it was stolen. How do you have it? The person who stole it from us 10 years ago was a man by the name of Ernest Amino. And he had it locked and hidden away for all this time. But we forced him to tell us where it was, finally, after the other day's kidnapping case. This video... Ugh, don't come any closer! I'm warning you! This is the same video as the one Mr. Portsman was trying to conceal from me. Yeah, it would seem even he was caught up in the ring's web. Amino was preparing to take on the boss someday, and the video was his insurance. That's where that prosecutor comes in. He was to retrieve the video. On top of that, he was apparently instructed to sneak into your office and steal the trump card. You saw for yourself, right? The card that told him to preserve the evidence. And that card was not the calling card of the Yatagarasu, but rather a directives card from the ringleader to Mr. Portsman. The two pieces together make for a strong weapon for whoever holds them. The evidence Mr. Portsman thought to withhold from me, and the one you stole from my office last night. Both pieces are illegal, and for me to use either one is... Whether you use them or not is up to you. But they will be of help to you, whether you take on someone who is when you take on someone who's above the law. Is the boss one of those who cannot be brought to court that Mr. Faraday spoke of? Detective Bad, there's no limit to the law, for it is the people who determine the limits to them. You still insist that even now. You really are something else. I leave the rest in your hands. Now then, Detective Gumshoe. The handcuffs. It's time to lock up the last remaining member of the Yatagarasu. Pops! Don't ever lose your detective spirit. Pops! Why is this happening? This isn't justice! Like I always told you, do not get emotionally involved. Now let's go. Yes, sir! I think it's really cool that this game introduces that Gumshoe also had like a mentor figure or someone that he looked up to, and then now it's like the closing of that chapter. I think it's really nice. And someone so cool too. Is this really the end of a legend? To be continued. Okay, so we are, according to the actual, like, if you look at the checkpoints in this case, we are 2/3 of the way through the case. Yesterday, we were actually, I said a third, but according to the check marks, we were a little bit further than the third. In terms of time, though, in terms of length of the case, in terms of time, I'd say we're about 60% of the way through the case. And I wanted to end today's stream at about 66%, but if we do the next section, I feel like we might get a little bit too far. So I think this is a good place to leave off just because this is a really nice cliffhanger. We've learned so much about the Yatagarasu, about Sheena, Callisto Yu, Detective Bad, Burn Faraday, Mr. Amino, Mr. Portsman, and like a bunch of the smuggling group stuff. And yet, we still don't know who murdered both of the victims here. So that's why, even though we're on the last third of the case, because all the cases in investigations, if you look at the checkpoints, they're divided into beginning, middle, and end. We're just starting the end part. There's still so much left to do. So we will say that for tomorrow. We're going to finish Turnabout Ablaze and Turnabout and Ace Attorney Investigations for good. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I'm glad you guys are sitting at the edge of your seats. And if you think this is good, wait till we play Ace Attorney Investigations 2, because Ace Attorney Investigations 2 is so good. I keep saying this. Ace Attorney Investigations 1 is great. Ace Attorney Investigations 2 is outstanding. So look forward to that. And again, it's the first time people are really experiencing that game for the first time in English. Although a lot of people have gone through the fan translation, so look forward to it. Let's save our game. Maybe I'll save it on the second slot here too. Yeah, thanks guys. I'm glad you guys are enjoying yourselves. My voice was able to hold out a little longer today. Even though we didn't actually go as long as yesterday, technically, but reading lines for like people like Bad and Lang really gets on my throat. But I really enjoy them. Okay, let's raid our good pal Kieran. He's playing Persona 3 Reload, the Answer DLC, which just came out on the same day as Ace Attorney Investigations. So let's say hi to Kieran. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the finale, Turnabout Ablaze. Thanks guys, take care. Bye froggy friends.